Man, what the heck is going on with this thing? Tell you. This thing, see, it's like there's a delay, but then, I don't know. This thing's just weird sometimes. I'm just looking at the YouTube live page, of course, and just going like, what the heck, man? Play the intro already. My God. What's going on, guys? Hey, who's out there? Are we here? We're ready? I started the fire. What am I talking? I didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the something. Cheers. Anyways, what's happening? Hey, look who's out there. Adam, let's go, man. Come on. Parker, legend. What's going on, Marcus? Hey, look, we got Nana here. We got one of the nerd queens. And Mr. Primitive, vodka and pineapple juice. Nah, man. You got to drink it straight. Put some hair on your knuckles, in your taint. Anyways, what? Didn't get the what? Oh, well, what's up with that? What's happening, Josh? What's going on there, Will? Yes, Ignore blocked me. That's right. We could talk about that. We'll talk about a lot of things. The fire rises. The lightsaber. What? I don't even know what you're talking about. Stallone fan. What's going on there, Eric? Boop. I love your name. Boop. Doop. Because I do that a lot. When something happens on Twitter, I go boop. So there's Mr. Jose. Shout out to Ray Park. Yeah, something happened. I missed it, apparently. Hey, man. What's going on there, Campbell? Oh, man, this thing's moving pretty fast. Do you actually live in the ghetto? Well, kind of, yeah, sadly. Yes, who isn't hyped for JC for Justice Con? What's up, JD? Bennett, cheers. Well, I'm about to. Langston's here. What's going on? Oh, I already said Bennett. Hey, Mama Film Junkie is here. What's going on? Mommy. This weekend. Woo. I know. I know. That's what I'm kind of worried about. I'm like, oof. I know. We're going to do 3 hours tonight because got to be up by 7 tomorrow. Of course, you guys had to start it so early. Just kidding. Nah, I'll be up. I'll be ready. You know what? If I'm a little hungover, I got my regimen. I'll be good. Yeah, it's Justice Con Eve. Pedro, Stallone. Yes, to see you guys. What's up? Anyways, all right. Now that I said pretty much hello to everybody, cheers, guys. You made it to another Friday. We're back on Friday. But, of course, we're going to be live streaming all freaking weekend. It's going to be great. And tomorrow, it's not going to be vodka tomorrow. I'm going to be drinking something a little bit, a little more classy. It's a celebration. We'll see what happens. So, cheers, guys. Mama Junkie came to the party. She's always there for the party. She's always joining the party on Friday nights. Go Dodgers. Shut up, Jose. All right. Let's just get that out of the way. All right, Dodger fans out there. Yes, it's not looking good. Okay, so of course, I watched opening day game yesterday, and I'm going, okay, let's see what happens. Okay, because hey, they were doing good in exhibition. They were doing all right. They won some games in exhibition. So I'm like, maybe something's happening. So when they're playing the Dodgers, it was like they drew first blood. The Giants did. And then Dodgers tied it. And it was 1-1 for what? A good few innings there. Okay. But then they showed that, yes, this is a rebuilding year. And 2020, it's just fucked up. 2020 is just I'm not going to tell you what classy bottle I got. Oh, crap. Hold on a sec. Forgot to do something. Forgot. Yeah. No, I'm not going to tell you what bottle I got. It's going to be a surprise. Going to pop it open tomorrow. Just, I had to make it like, better stuff, better than cheap vodka. Had to definitely do it better than that. So, but anyways, so yeah, it was just like, oh man, I was like hoping for the best. And it was good for a bit there. And then all of a sudden they just fell apart. They fell apart. That's what it was. That's what happened when it came to all that. And I'm just like, God damn it. Yeah, I know. My mom said, yeah, go Dodgers. Did she say go Dodgers? Yes, she did. She's just doing that. Of course she's doing that. Love you, Mom. But geez, how dare you? But anyways, cheers, guys. Cheers again. Well, the thing is, what's funny is my grandma, her mom, huge Dodger fan. And, when I was little, me and my brother were part of the Dodger fan club and everything like that. But, my dad's a big Dodgers fan too. So naturally, we had to like go a different direction. And I've said this before, like my brother was always a Giants fan, but I went to the Seattle Mariners. I was a Mariners fan when I grew up. Ken Griffey Jr. was my idol, was my favorite player growing up. I loved Ken Griffey Jr., the best swing you'll ever see in baseball. I've never seen it. You'll never see a more beautiful swing in baseball. But then when he got traded to the Reds, I kind of was like, and then he got injured and I mean, if he would have stayed with the Mariners and stayed healthy, he would have beaten the all-time record. He would have beaten Aaron's record. That's what sucks about that. But I kind of lost interest because I was like, and the Mariners were sucking, and I should have just stuck with them because that's what we're supposed to do. And then eventually I was just like, I just jumped on the Giants bandwagon a little bit because I was living with my brother and, at the time. And I was like, you know what? We were watching a bunch of Giants games. So then I was like, I'm going to be a Giants fan. So I've been a Giants fan for a decade. I'm just not, yeah. Oh, I know. I saw that. Dude, Ben, geez. Red Sox looking good. They looking good. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, wow. So, yeah, that might be good for you guys, man. So, geez. Yeah, that was pretty bad. You know what I love about the fact that it's a 60 game season, which I hope it sticks to that. And I thought Mike Trout, I'm watching the Angels A's game. I got it on the background. I thought Mike Trout was opting out. I guess he changed his mind. But no, what I'm worried about is like a whole team, like a team gets like COVID and then they just cancel the whole season. Hopefully they don't. But how weird is the cardboard cutouts behind the It's so weird. It's so weird. And then every stadium needs an ad blocker right now. You guys notice that? Smithers. Why are you saying Smithers? Anyways, I was like, what happened? Just look at the chat. Stallone fan. Relax. Burns. What? But no, every stadium right now needs an ad blocker because they have advertisements all over the place. I mean, obviously they got to make money. I totally understand it. What's going on, Hidden Shadows? But geez, yeah, it's just crazy. It's weird with the sound of the crowd without the crowd being there. But it's good though. You want that ambiance. You want that ambient noise where it's just, you want that a little bit. So it's just really odd, but I'm just glad baseball's back, glad it's back and everything. So opening day, hopefully it's all good and it's all tasty. But yeah, what happened with Ray Park? Let's talk about that because, I was trying to get both of my videos up because I do that to myself way too much where like I procrastinate and then I was like, I got to get 2 videos up, talk about Batfleck, talk about Joss Whedon. And so, yeah. And then all of a sudden I see everybody talk about Ray Park and I'm like, what happened? Apparently, he brought out his lightsaber? Is that what happened? Jeez. Oh, when it comes to basketball, I don't really have a team. I mean, I guess if I was going to keep it, Bay Area, I probably would say Golden State, but I don't have a football team. I don't have a basketball team. I have a baseball team, but I enjoy watching football and basketball. Don't get me wrong, but so trailer, what do we got for JusticeCon tomorrow? We got a lot of good interviews with a lot of cool people. That seems to be what's the case right there. So you're a Pistons line, so you're a Detroit guy, huh? There, Arkham. That's cool. Kings, okay. Yeah, I never really had a basketball or football team. I mean, if I was gonna keep it strictly Bay Area, of course it'd be like Niners and Warriors, but I was always a baseball guy. But I enjoy watching, of course, everything. Yeah. I don't know. It's like this little thing, this little, I think it's called Vanity Con or something like that. It's a vanity project. That's what I heard, Meg. I don't know. Maybe ask Nana. She's in here. Because, I heard it was like called Vanity Con or something like that. So I don't know. So I'm just going by what I see on the timeline. That's all. I might tune in. I don't know. Oh, it's CloutCon. That's what it's called. It's CloutCon. My bad. But yeah, you guys should be asleep. You have a long day tomorrow. Have I interacted with Fiona? Yes, I have. when going back to that whole Dark Side storyboard, the first Dark Side storyboard that got released. Yeah, I seeked her to help me leak it. So yeah. Now we've had exchanges in DMs and everything. So yeah, it's always been friendly. It's always been cordial. I'm just glad now she's actually promoting Justice Con. It's almost like she needed someone to help her get to that point where she promoted Justice Con. I wonder who that was. It's beyond me. Anyways, yeah. No, like I know I have my, reservations about certain things, but yeah. Where do you watch Justice Con? Just type in Justice Con in your YouTube search. There's a specific channel, or you can go look up Zack Snyder on his Twitter. He promoted it the other day. So, and so did Ray Fisher, by the way. So yeah, go ahead, or like I said, just go into the YouTube search, type in Justice Con. If you find a video, click the video, click on the username, subscribe, and you're golden. You're golden. So there you go. If you need to search for it, make sure you stretch. Well before chasing that clout. Yeah, I know. We're gonna be sprinting for that clout. Who is that? Just some guy. Just some guy. I don't know. Just some guy. Isn't? Yeah. I mean, I don't. It's all weird. Like I said, I found stuff that she was tweeting out weird, and she's really supporting the loud toxic side. She was really doing that, and then she was not even mentioning Justice Con. But then all of a sudden, I guess she's going to be part of DC fandom with Zack Snyder, and then all of a sudden she's promoting Justice Con. It's all just very weird. Like I said, nothing against her. Like I said, every time before, I've had nothing but cordial, civil, everything. We've always been friendly. I always thought she was great. For starting a lot of the things, but just recently, I've just always found the online activity weird. That's all. Ooh, Field of Dreams, baseball movies. Yep, that's in the top 10. I mean, I think my all-time favorite baseball movie is Major League. I just love that movie to death. And we need, yeah. Now, don't worry, Jay. I still think she's good. It's just there's just a recent activity. It's just been strange to me. That's all. But then I just kind of look at patterns and look at weird, that's all. I don't know if there's like a hyper vigilance I have. I don't know. But no, when it comes to baseball movies, Major League, man. Major League. Oh, that's my favorite. We need a good R-rated baseball movie. We need another good R-rated baseball movie. And then of course you got Sandlot. Sandlot's up there with me. Field of Dreams, like I said, that's also up there. Rookie of the Year is a classic. Little Big League. A lot of people don't talk about Little Big League. That's a good fucking movie. That's a good baseball movie right there. Little Big League. They're For the Love of the Game, also a good one. There's some good baseball movies out there. We just need another good one. We need a good R-rated fucking baseball movie, man. We need a new one. I wish I could be a call people before, but Dr. Vinny on there. Get out of fan of meow. Yeah. Oh, Jackie Robinson. That was a good one. I don't know. I need to watch that again. I haven't watched it since I saw it in the theaters, but it was a pretty good movie. 42. That's what it was. 42, and then you got like the 61, the Roger Maris. I think, was that a movie or was that a miniseries? I think that was a miniseries. That was great. Billy Crystal. Yeah, there's a lot of good movies out there. A lot of good baseball movies. Not a lot. There's not a lot, I guess you could say. But, and then there was Major League 2, which they just went to a PG-13 rating, which was still fine. But then there was Major League back to the minors. And then I've heard over time, like Charlie Sheen and some of the, has just been trying to get another Major League movie out. And of course, Charlie Sheen, he needs work. So naturally, he wanted to do that. By the way, Charlie Sheen's on Cameo. If you guys want to have Charlie Sheen, shout out to you. You want to pay him some money to shout out to you? Go for it. He's on Cameo. If you see his Cameo video where he's talking about it, man, that man did a lot of drugs. He did a lot of drugs. And that's sad because I love Charlie Sheen. Okay. Growing up, like I said, Major League, Hot Shots Part 2, Terminal Velocity, The Chase. Come on. These are classics, classic 90s fucking Charlie Sheen. You know, he was in other movies too. He was in I can't even remember. Red Dawn. Okay, there you go. But yeah, I mean, Charlie Sheen, whoo, man, I tell you what, he's just, you could tell, like, man, yeah, he's done a lot of drugs. It shows. Navy SEALs, there you go. Three Musketeers, thank you, Scott. My God. I mean, when you talk about a good Three Musketeers movies, I mean, there are some shit sandwiches out there, like the one that Paul W.S. Anderson did with the flying fucking ship and everything. But the Disney, now what, 1993 or 4 with Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland, and Oliver Platt or Pratt, I can never remember, and Chris O'Donnell, excellent. That's the best Three Musketeers movie. Yeah, The Arrival. Yes, thank you. Platoon. That was the movie I was trying to think of. The war movie. I was like, what war movie was he in? But The Arrival. Don't sleep on The Arrival. A great alien invasion movie that ends really shitty. I tell you what, it is Platt. Thank you. Yeah, The Arrival. Don't get it confused with Arrival. This is The Arrival with Charlie Sheen. It's a great movie. And then when you see how it ends, it's like, really? That's how you're going to end the movie? It ends really shitty. It's such a shitty ending. It's so anticlimactic. Oh, you're bringing up Loaded Weapon 1. Oh, man, that's with brother Emilio Estevez and Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson with hair. And Charlie Sheen has a cameo in it. He does. I mean, yeah, he also has a cameo in Ferris Bueller. You know, a fun fact about his cameo in Ferris Bueller, to make his eyes look all bloodshot, I guess Charlie Sheen didn't sleep the night before. He wanted it. That's how dedicated he was to that little cameo. He didn't sleep the night before to make his eyes all bloodshot and puffy. But oh yeah, then you got Young Guns. There you go. There you go. You got Young Guns and everything. So yeah. Yeah, The Chase. I said The Chase, Jose. You didn't hear me say that? I said The Chase. I said Terminal Velocity, The Chase. Come on. Yes, The Chase. Absolutely. Christy Swanson. Big time. Men at Whoa. Thank you. Thank you. Men at Work. If you haven't seen Men at Work, this is a movie that was written by Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez, and I believe directed by Emilio Estevez. Great movie. Just a great movie. It's just a little fun movie. I think that was late 80s, early 90s. Can't remember what year that was. That's a great movie, though. Yeah, there was a sequel to The Arrival, and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. So, yeah. Good stuff, man. Going down the Charlie Sheen filmography right now. Money Talks, yeah, with Chris Tucker. I remember that one. That was also a good one. Wasn't bad. You know, I didn't really like it that much. But yeah, I mean, Charlie Sheen was the shit, man. But the Hot Shots movies, come on. Hot Shots and the Hot Shots Part 2, I watched religiously when I was a kid. Just ask my mom if she's in here. I watched it's like crazy, man. I was all about parody movies. I love parody movies. Your Airplanes, your Naked Guns, your Hot Shots, Loaded Weapon. And there hasn't been a good parody movie in a long, long time. Long time. You know, maybe the scary movies. I don't know. Stand and Deliver. I don't think I saw that. No. Yeah. Hot Shots Part 2, man. He got fucking yoked. Charlie Sheen got jacked for that movie. Police Academy. Yeah. I mean, I guess Police Academy is a spoof movie, kind of a parody movie. You know, kinda. Any Iron Eagle fans? Louis Gossett Jr., right? Fellow 80s babies, yeah. But anyways, yeah. Scary Movie 1 through 3, yeah. Well, it's funny because the scary movies, they were the Wayans brothers for the 1 and 2, and they were R-rated and really explicit. Then the Zucker guys came in, you know, all the you know, the Naked Gun guys and stuff like that, and they did 3 and 4, and they were like PG-13, and they were like that. They were kind of back to that goofy style. Not Another Teen Movie. That was probably the last really good one. I think Not Another Teen Movie is a great spoof movie. And my mom is asking if I like pineapple. I'm not a fan, really. I can maybe drink some pineapple juice. Not really a fan of actual pineapple, and especially not on pizza. The reason why, Mom, that they're bringing this up is because for like the past, I don't know, month, there's been this whole debate about pineapple pizza, and now it won't be let go. It won't be let go. There's a debate about pineapple pizza, and I get sent images and gifs of pineapple pizza like crazy. And yeah, see, like you got Nate right here who likes to do that. He likes to send me pictures of pineapple pizza, which pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. I'm sorry. Then you got Meg right here, who's like, you know, now she's about to order herself a pineapple pizza. You freak. Tropic Thunder, was that really it's kind of a parody movie. It's more like a meta kind of movie. See, and then, but see, Nana agrees that pineapple pizza is gross, but you know, apparently Zack Snyder likes pineapple pizza, which I'm kind of disappointed, you know. And then, you know, we got Scott right here. I guess he doesn't want to be part of the panel because, you know, he had to put pineapple pizza's good. This guy, I guess I won't send him the link. No, but yeah, I'm just not a fan. So that's what happens. And now the whole debate is now going to be all over the chat. Damn it. Can't get away from it. Yeah. Would you dare say that Zack Snyder? Yes, I would dare. I would. See, even see, look at that. Even my mom doesn't like pineapple pizza. See? So that's where I got it from, guys. So don't harass me, harass her. It's her fault. It's her fault that I don't like pineapple pizza. Yeah. Come on. Pizza deserves pepperoni, sausage, you know, something like that. More cheese. You know, and a veggie lover pizza, I'm against that too. Why would you have just veggies on your pizza? Get out of here. And I know, and I like Canadian bacon, but for some reason, Canadian bacon and pineapple go together like they're two. Why? And for you Canadians out there, I guess it's just bacon for you. Ugh. Kids eat paste? I didn't eat paste. I never ate paste. You know what I did with paste or glue? I don't know if you guys did this, but I'd always like want to put glue on my fingertips and then peel it off. Did you guys do that with your Elmer's glue? You know, you put it on your fingertips and you'd be like, look at this. I'm peeling off my fingertips. You know, that's what I did. I never put it in. I never did that. But I would love doing the, you know, put it on your fingertips and peel it off. David Pena Colada. I get what you're saying. That's good. See, somebody make that drink. I need a signature drink right there. Signature drink. Yeah. So you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Who didn't do that? You get some glue on you and you start peeling it off. There's something very awesome about that. Next debate, waffles or pancakes. I'm going to go with waffles on that one, Marcus. Just saying. I like waffles. Short bus. Maybe. I sat in the back. You know, it didn't take long to walk back there. That's for sure. So, all right. Like I said, there's no special guest tonight. Just going to start bringing people in. Oh, crap. And my computer just took shit. Hold on a sec. Okay. Whew. Jeez. I don't know. All of a sudden I was like trying to copy the link and it just got crazy. All right. We'll just start, you know, sending it out to people. Jesus Christ. I love when I get sent messages, weird messages from somebody. It's like, hey, Charlie Sheen. Yeah, I'm not going to just. Anyways. All right. Prepare yourselves. I'm setting out the links. Just like I said, it's going to be one of those shows where it's like, you know, people just going to show up. So yeah, what are we talking about? The Ray Park stuff. Apparently he was getting his lightsaber tended to. I don't know. When I saw all that stuff, I typed in Ray Parker, and then all I saw was like he posted like a video of from Cobra Kai, and I thought it was kind of funny because it was a scene where what's his name couldn't like work his computer and everything like that. So, anyways, guys, start bringing in some people here. We got Mr. Stephen Colbert and we got Mr. Scott McClellan. Let me do not like that. I don't even.
Oh, there it is.
I wanted to dominate. What are you talking about? I wanted to, you know, you guys are, you know, you're on my stream. No, just kidding. But thanks, guys. Thanks for coming in. What's going on? So what's up with this Ray Park thing?
It's gone. I had to have it explained. I just saw it on the timeline, and then I just had to have someone go, okay, I got one bit of detail. Okay, here's the next detail. Okay, that's all I needed to know. Thanks. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know any details. I'm good. Thank you.
I saw a screenshot and I was like, whoa, what? And so basically it was like a video of, was it him or was it something else or what?
I would have no way to confirm whether or not it was him.
What, you don't know Ray Park's anatomy?
No,
I have not seen his lightsaber.
Is it double-sided?
It was single-bladed. It was single-bladed, and it was white. That's all I can tell you.
It wasn't red. That's good.
And so yeah, the question it's like, was he hacked? I think someone said maybe it was revenge porn. So maybe someone hacked him and that was something they had of his, or like maybe it wasn't him and it was his wife. That would seem like a weird way to like post that publicly. But yeah, I have no idea.
But then he posted a video of of what's his name from Cobra Kai trying to work his computer. I guess just to save face. I don't know if you guys saw
he posted. I saw that posted, but I did not see him post it.
I think he posted that. I went to his Twitter and it was like, or his IG, and that's what the last video was, which I found kind of funny because, I mean, if you're gonna do that, you might as well make a joke about it.
Oh, maybe he meant to direct message it to someone. I've seen that, or
probably
heard that
what it could have been.
Yeah.
He probably made the mistake. Oops, that sucks. But Mike G said, "Do you think we'll get JL trailer tomorrow? What do you think the announcement is?" No, not a trailer, but we'll get a clip. I think
probably about 30 seconds, like the Dark Side clip.
Yes, we'll get something like that. That's gonna give us goosebumps and satisfy us. And I don't know. When it comes to the announcement, I would say it's gonna be something fan oriented, something for the fans. That's what he said. So it'll be something cool, like maybe another contest or something like that. And now we got Mr. Chris Wong Swenson joining.
Maybe the winner of the Martian Manhunter contest.
Oh yeah, there could be that.
Oh, that's
too.
a good idea.
Because that was hi Chris.
Hey,
before we just talk.
There's Chris. Yeah.
Hi. No, keep going. One more thing.
It's a phenomenal cuss Wong rant.
I need a warning when you're going to do those, so I'm not watching it at my kitchen table when my kids are watching PJ Masks.
Oh,
I know. In general, I sent someone that Ray Park video link just to be like
that freaking.
Cuss Wong in the house, and like I don't know why I thought that they either knew already or that there's gonna be a thumbnail or something. So just I don't know. Don't send things that you don't want people opening in front of the wrong people.
You know what's sad though? It's like didn't they just talk about how Darth Maul is going to show up in future?
In the series, you can have like a.
Hopefully that didn't get screwed. Oh man.
Oh man.
Because I was like, I saw that news and I was like, yes, cool, awesome. That was one of the best things about Solo was that little surprise. And now,
but that wasn't even Ray Park in Solo. That was Sam Witwer.
Hi, Amanda. Yeah.
So, but I know that Ray Park came back to do. I haven't watched the final season of Clone Wars, but I do know that Ray Park took over and was Maul in the final season of Clone Wars.
Yeah, he did. Well, he did mocap.
He did.
Ray mocap,
but Sam Witwer still did
the voice.
The voice. Oh, okay. Oh,
I always forget that he was Snake Eyes.
I haven't seen it, or I haven't ever seen him do like. I don't think he has on like cosplay or anything. But like Witwer is an athletic enough dude. I mean, he would need a stunt person, but like I've always thought that the Ray Park stuff was kind of just more like fan. Like if they're gonna do a live action Darth Maul, I don't see why they can't just put Ray Park in the makeup, or not Ray Park, Sam Witwer in the makeup.
Yeah.
Because what they've established in Solo is that they would basically just have, if they were to have more of him, they'd lip sync, which they did anyway in the Phantom Menace with. This is when Scott's going to jump in on.
No, actually, I don't remember who the voice was because I was just knew
should
about
know.
Yeah.
Because it's a person.
You're talking about the video game?
No, in the
Phantom Menace.
Oh, okay.
Peter Serafinowicz did it.
He did what?
Serafinowicz.
with the voice.
You did the voice?
Yeah,
He did the voice in Phantom
the
Menace.
voice as in like at last
did
we
not
will
even
reveal
know that.
ourselves to the Jedi. Like that's like all he said.
Wow. Interesting. But I mean, but let's face it. I mean, when it comes to lightsaber battles, I mean, the fight between Darth Maul and Obi-Wan,
especially the one on his Instagram today.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not a lightsaber. Yeah. No.
That's definitely not a lightsaber. Definitely, yeah, that was his own personal lightsaber. But I mean, I'm always a fan. I mean, I'm like the whole time. I mean, Darth Maul was just a cool character. I mean, I was always when you give shit to the prequels, I'm always like, yeah, what was Lucas thinking when he killed off the two coolest characters in that movie? He killed off Qui-Gon and Darth Maul, and it was like, what are you doing? You know, I always make fun of that notion. No. But I mean, of course, they find ways to bring people back, and they, of course, found a way to bring Darth Maul back. But now, now it might be not Ray Park.
Did you guys ever see that movie Fanboys?
Yes.
I always loved Ray Park's cameo in that movie.
He did have a cameo in there. Man, I need to watch that again. It's been because I remember like we were always joking about we're gonna make Fanboys 2 and we're gonna try to find the Snyder cut. You know, that's Fanboys 2. Yeah.
I remember that movie. I saw it on home video, and it was the week I got married. So it was 2009 was when I saw that movie. It was one of those, I was walking through a Target, saw the DVD. Hell, why not? It was like $9 or something. I'll watch it.
Not?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. No, it's a fun movie.
It is a fun movie.
Yeah, it's you know, I mean, but it's funny too because when they go to conventions, they run into like Trekkies, but they're not. They couldn't use the licensing, the logo.
Yes,
so it was like a you know, a makeshift, like, you know, not real Trekkies, and they couldn't use the real logos. It was pretty funny. But no, it's a good movie. It's not bad. And now we got a fifth person, Mr. Nicotina, has joined.
Hey,
what's going on? Why are you still awake, sir?
I don't know. Say you got to start early in the morning.
I know.
You're waking up.
He's not sleeping. No.
Yeah, I'm not really gonna sleep. Even if I tried to go to sleep right now, I probably wouldn't be able to fall asleep as it is. I'm so excited about tomorrow, and to have all you guys as a part of it. I mean, it just. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I mean, it's going to be such a fun event tomorrow with Justice Con. I literally can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be yeah. Like I mean, even Nana was saying like everybody, you know, they should be asleep too. Like Meg was in here too. Everybody's still awake. I think everybody's just pretty much hyped for it.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking, I'm like, shit, I better, you know, not get too you know, because I'm waking up at 7 just to make. Sorry, Nick, I'm not waking up at 4.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
I will probably be up in time for Nick's show only because I'll have a little face and have a little one in my face going, "Daddy, show, show."
Yeah,
like, your brother can turn it on for me. Stop it.
Well, you know, there's so many good shows that are on the lineup, and I felt that, you know, I didn't want to be the guy who's like, well, I mean, I put it together, so I'm going to go at the time that's best for me. No, I mean, I felt like, hey, look, you know, do I want to be a part of it? Of course I do. But at the same time, there's shows out there that have a lot of viewers, that have a lot more fans than my show. And I said, you know what? It's better to set it up to where, you know, as the schedule goes on, there's more shows that have more viewers, more fans. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes on. And it felt like it was the right thing to do. And, you know, I've said it before, and I told Dave this too, but, you know, obviously Dave was my first choice for going right after the event. And then when Chris decided to join in on the same stream, oh my God, I was like, that's incredible. And I know you guys are probably going to be there too. Steven, it's nice to finally meet you.
Hey.
You too, Scott. I mean,
4 a.m. Eastern time, 4 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, 4 a.m.
7 a.m.
Pacific.
7 a.m.
Pacific.
Yeah,
Pacific.
clarify that. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
No, I was gonna say I never had a chance to talk to Steven and Scott, you know, so it's a pleasure to talk to you guys and thank you for being a part of the event tomorrow. Of course, Chris, you know, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Hey, what's up, Dave? Anyway,
Anyway, so Nick has to go now. He has to get some sleep.
I have to go to bed.
It's 6 hours. I still had that page open where it has the timer. The link
I
you
know.
sent me.
You
Oh,
know
and I
what?
wanted to
6
give you
hours,
such crap,
54
Chris.
minutes.
It's like just do the math. Seriously, it's like for
No.
you, it's like add 6 to
No.
Eastern time. Come on.
But still, it counts down for you. And Chris actually discovered this. I didn't know this, but the website actually shows you what time every show starts based on the user's time zone. So whatever time zone you're in when you're looking at it, it shows you what time. Yeah,
That's good.
And I didn't know he did that.
That was cool.
So the same guy who made the website for
Well,
Justice Con.
if you want to share your screen, if you have it up, share it.
Yeah, hold on. Let me find it right now. I
Sure.
don't know. I have so many DMs open. It's like, ugh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
know
don't
that
share
feeling?
those. Not
Yeah.
a good idea.
Don't share those. Yeah. Get you in trouble.
There's a Ray Park
Start doing-
Instagram open.
Well, earlier, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Let's
my
see.
God.
I'll find it in just a second. But earlier, I did a show and I kind of just went for broke. I started playing all kinds of scenes from BBS. I was just like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go for it. And
I can
eventually,
share mine. Do you want me? If
Oh
you don't
yeah,
mind.
yeah. Whoever has.
Yeah, I
yeah,
got
go
it.
for it. Yeah, go for
But
it.
so the Crisis Infinite Stream panels will take place on the host channel. So it'll just be like,
Yes.
and then it'll roll over to the next one. Like you said, pretty much, whoever's next is going to show up on the previous kind of thing.
Yeah. So starting tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be messaging each host for each show, kind of showing
6 hours.
6
Yeah.
hours. I know. We gotta do 6 hours.
Technically
Hey.
7. I mean, it's 6
Yeah,
hours.
yeah, we round up
See,
here.
mine's
Yeah.
for me. It's 1 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, I know. And so if you
Just don't sleep, Chris.
you know what, I have an updated one that I'll find. It's got. Oh no, that is the updated one. That is it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, we're also going to have Victor Koo on here. Mr.
Yeah.
Mighty
Poster-winner.
Perseus.
And don't sleep on Dave's show because you never know who's going to show up, Dave. You
That's right.
never know.
Yes, I'm sending an invite to somebody. So maybe. You never know. Just saying.
I mean, would we be sleeping on it otherwise?
I know.
Like,
Exactly.
I know you guys might not be hyped about it, but give them
not
a
at all.
chance.
Well, I mean, if you look at it,
Just a cherry.
not to just go off on it, but I mean that's really the marquee show that I was trying to set up, and I wanted Chris to be a part of it, but I knew that he was going to be on the panel, so that was going to be kind of hard, and so I wasn't sure how and he was even saying to me too that he's not sure how much involvement he's going to have in it, so his availability was still in question, and then once Chris was all in, and then when they had the idea of combining their shows, I was like, this is perfect. I mean, it's exactly what the fans want, and that's the whole thing. Is that
what a show to combine for
exactly
for the past few years?
I mean, it's gonna be like this.
Pretty much.
It is.
Yeah. It'll be
Yeah.
noon when I'm drinking, but I'll be drinking
Yeah.
at noon time.
And so I told all the other hosts this. I said, because this was my idea, I have a free pass for any show, so I can drop in whenever I want to. No, I'm just playing. But no, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, the whole thing, this whole event was made for the fans. I mean, like I said, it wasn't made because, for me, or it wasn't made because, I'm, well, obviously I'm a big fan of all you guys. But I wanted to bring something to the viewers and all the fans, especially those who have been so committed to this, the Snyder Cut movement and fans of Zach's work. I just wanted to have something that kind of brings it all together and sort of navigates you and kind of keeps you going through the entire event, because if you're at home watching the event, there's going to be times where you're going to be like, all right, well, regardless of who's on there, like I got to go to the bathroom or I got to, it's just people's attention spans are pretty low. So I figured if there's a way to engage everybody and still watch their favorite shows at the same time, it would just be something super, super cool. And, obviously I was comparing it to like the Super Bowl, because at the Super Bowl, you have like ESPN, you have all their shows going all day long until the game starts. Now for this, we'll be doing shows leading up to it. We are going to be doing shows during some of the panels, but those panels that will be on, we are going to switch over to those panels so that they get, proper time and that we're not just streaming over them like, as if they're, irrelevant, because they're not. The panel with the Inks of the People is very important, and same with the AFSP is extremely important to me. And they're doing such a good thing, and so that's definitely going to be shown on the streams. And Zach's bringing a clip. Yes,
It looked like news to Nana. Apparently,
I know. She's like, what?
What? Nah. No, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, like when you approached me on it, I was like, yeah, let's do that. I mean, let's make a whole event out of it. Why not?
One of the things that I think is cool about it, and you guys specifically might understand this better than a lot of fans, but it seems like something that people don't totally realize about this community is how much of its own ecosystem it is, separately from a lot of other communities. Not that there's not like Marvel centric stuff or DC centric stuff that people have to engage with, but in the same way that like in a larger sense, you have different big shows and sites and stuff. Like you have like Comic-Con is hosted by IGN and you have Collider and you have Screen Rant and you have the trades. You have all these other outlets that cover this stuff on a big scale. And then so it's really cool to have something that's so small. Well, not that it's a big thing, but it's a fan organized event that's going to be like smaller in profile, although with some of the panelists it's just as big, if not, Slender's panel might be bigger than any of the Comic-Con panels. And then surrounding it, you don't have like the normal shows that you would expect with like the big names from that would cover stuff like Comic-Con. You have names that are important inside of this fan ecosystem that people know over the past 4 years or 3 years. And because of the nature of Snyder and the nature of the Snyder Cut, there's a bubble that is formed. And in a lot of ways, I think there's some dangers to that, but also there's a lot of cool ways that develops where we're all very engaged with the community and with the fans. And so, people don't want to hear from John Campia during JusticeCon. They want to hear from Chris. They want to hear from
Dave. What are you talking about? I do.
And I want to hear from Tim and Scott. And so it's, I think it's a really, really cool idea that takes the normal con experience, but brings it into this Snyder fandom bubble in a really, really cool way.
Well, what really, I guess, kind of sparked my imagination to do this was, there's a show, The Four Nerds, that I'm close with those guys, and I noticed that they switch off. So like one episode they'll do it on one guy's channel, and then they'll do it on another channel the following week. And I was like, that's kind of interesting. And because they said, we want to make sure that each channel gets the views and all that. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool idea. It makes the viewers go to different channels to see all that. That's cool. And then I started thinking about the event, and I started thinking about, like it was such a cool event. And I loved the watch party that went along with it when they announced JusticeCon. And I thought, man, like, as YouTubers, it feels like there should be a better way for us to help them, to help this event, and to have an impact on something that Zach is doing or Zach is a part of. Yeah. And I just said, and then I started thinking about like I said, the Super Bowl. I started thinking about elections. And I was like, what? I was like, what would happen if we just had a nonstop streaming event where everyone's favorite shows, and it's like you were saying, Steven, this whole movement has like its own inner circle of shows that everyone's fully on board with. And I thought, if we bring them all together and we do this huge event, and this is going to be massive, it's going to make the event even bigger as well. Yeah. And so many viewers have been just so excited about it. And sometimes I'm just like, did I really do this?
Yeah. Well, it's been so cool over the years listening to like Tim and Scott, and then Dave and Chris, and then seeing other shows come up like you guys, where it's hard to find an audience in this world, like this like geek news world, but because of the hashtag, it creates a connectedness between everyone where even though you're brand new, you don't have to go out in the ocean and try to collect an audience. You just say, hey, we belong to this community, and then people find you, and then all of a sudden you have a reliable audience. I before any of the Snyder Cut stuff, I ran my own blog for a while, and like didn't have it was just random whatever every once in a while came in. It's really hard to find people who are like, I'm going to go to them every time. Yeah. And someone can start a show or a podcast or whatever in this community, and they immediately have a handful of their friends and other people in the circle that are right there, and it's really cool to see people starting up all this stuff.
Dare I say,
for
building
us-
up clout? Sorry.
Here we go. Here we go.
But,
But no, that's exactly what it is, and it's awesome.
but
Yeah.
the fun thing that like what we've done is I cannot tell you how many podcasts have come out in the last 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
that I know are listeners of ours. And they because they tell us they come to us and go, okay, how do we do this? And it's really
Right,
great
right.
because after 2 or 3 years, it's like, okay, let's save you about 3 years of trial and error of all the screw ups we made and all the little tricks we've learned, and let's get you started on a good foot. And then kind of like what Steven is saying is that, well, you're friends of ours, you're listeners of ours. We like to help try to promote you, and we want to like transfer our audience to you because we don't see you as competition. We see you as partners. And it's like, here, hey guys, we know these guys. Go listen to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was the whole idea is that I wanted to find a way to bring everybody together, regardless of who we are and what we, obviously some people don't like each other or have their disagreements
I
with
don't know
each
what
other.
you're talking about.
I don't either.
I know, right? I don't
No
know.
problems.
But if that were the case, regardless of all of that, we're all fans of Zach's work. We're all fans of the Snyder Cut movement. And I just thought it'd be such a great message to send everybody else that, like, hey, look, regardless of all of that, we're all coming together, working as a team to bring experience, not just for ourselves, but for the fans and for Meg and the Nerd Queens and for Zach. And it's the one thing that we can do that directly affects something that Zack Snyder is a part of. And I just thought that was such a powerful thing. I just, and like I said, the fact that you guys are part of it, oh my God, it's incredible.
It's a celebration. I mean,
It
it's
really
a
is.
celebration
Yeah.
for
I
all
mean,
the years that we've been through, and we all came
And then
together.
going back to what Scott said, I mean, constantly I would, I get asked like, hey, I want to start a YouTube channel. What do I do? What do I do? And the first thing I say is like, turn on the camera, turn on your microphone, and just go. See what happens.
Right.
I'm still learning shit. I've been doing this forever. It feels like, and I just jumped into the whole live stream thing just because I was like, you know what? Let's try that. And it's been a lot of fun. Has it been taxing? Yes. But at the same time, it's also been a lot of fun,
Try having kids and being married and doing live streams. It's even harder.
Oh,
I'm sure. Yeah.
That's why I'm muting my mic every once in a while.
Yeah.
You're screaming in the
Never
background.
getting
Have
married.
headphones so they don't hear what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I'm never getting married and I'm snipped. Anyways, Mr. Ben Everett.
Hey.
What's going on, guys?
How's it going, buddy?
Just nodding my head, listening to Chris when he said that he mutes his mic because I do the same thing
Got
when I'm
another
not
father
talking.
in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But, how about your Red Sox? Jeez.
Yeah, you saw that? We
Yeah,
just
13-2, right?
yeah, we destroy the Orioles. So
Orioles suck.
any
Come
Orioles,
on.
Yeah.
any Orioles fan? They suck
No.
anyway.
I know.
They
Sadly,
suck.
the
They're
Orioles
terrible.
and my team are going to be the joke of the
Yes.
season.
Yeah,
The
Jeez.
Giants do not look very hot right now.
Not at all.
they always
Still
are.
a short season, so
Yeah.
And the
don't
damn
know.
Yankees too.
Oh,
Did
I
they win?
know.
Yeah, they beat the Nationals.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's interesting. But
Mhm.
anyways, guys, let's talk about Mr. Batfleck, Mr. Ben Affleck.
Yes.
So,
Woohoo.
yes, you got the shirt on. I should have put mine on, but I
know, me too.
Well, see, I come prepared
Oh,
for
yes,
the
you
vodka
did.
stream.
I
I'm
know.
just
See,
saying.
unlike me,
So did I. Look,
I'm
I'm
wearing a
drinking
Star
already.
Wars shirt. 'Cause,
Scott is a
Why not?
professional.
of course he is, man.
Yeah,
No,
he got the memo. We didn't.
he did. He got the memo. He's the only one that got the memo that for some reason I didn't
I
get.
thought I was
We're
gonna
like,
be
what's
on
that
the
piece of
screen,
paper?
so-
Yes.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Just to talk to you guys. For so long, I used to listen to the DC Squadcast back when it was a Suicide Squadcast. And
Oh
I
my God, yeah.
loved your show. I was always like, man, these guys are great. The one thing that I wish is that there was more of them. For a while, there was huge gaps in between each episode. And so I was like, man,
Well,
when's the next
no,
one going to come out?
oh no, that is not true. That is not true.
Really?
We have produced. We've only missed 2 weeks in 5 years.
Really?
Yes,
That's probably when I was going on there then. But I absolutely love them though. So you did an amazing job. And
Thank
I
you.
remember like before I even had my own show, I used to watch Chris Wong, and I used to be like, how does he do that? He talks by himself for so long, and you would talk about just like the smallest little detail of the Snyder Cut, and you somehow turn it into this big positive message.
I call that a problem. Like, I need somebody to say, "Shut up already."
Oh,
No,
all I
it was
say, Chris,
crazy.
is I respect that so much, because anytime that I was sick or we had a family emergency, or Tim, we hate doing solo shows. We have built a show around the two of us, bouncing off each other, giving each other crap, and our different personalities. Like I don't like the show when it's just one of us, because the show is built around the two of us. Since the beginning, I've always said Tim's the play-by-play and I'm the color commentary.
Yes, very true. You guys have a really good dynamic. You really have a good dynamic.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm one of those too. I'm like one of those. I mean, I'm surprised I even have you guys in here, and I'm not still talking to myself. But I'm one of those people that I can do that. But I love, that's why I love about the vodka stream, because it's like, hey, invite everybody in here, get different perspectives and different kind of personalities. And, it's grown into something, because at first it was just me just talking to the live chat and just like, hey, whatever, I'm going to sip vodka by myself. But now it's turned into like this whole, this grouping, this
family
fire pit.
Like a weekly party.
Well, at the same time, though, it's like, I remember when your videos were just short videos where you just talked about something and then ended it really fast.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about them. I was like, wow. I remember thinking, I was like, he's smart about this. Like, he does short videos where he expresses his, his feelings about this topic, and then he ends it. So it's like, it's not like a long thing where you get distracted on. It's a short video that you can just watch and then move on to the next one. And I thought it was great. And then when you started doing live streams, it was even better. Oh, Joss Whedon's here. Oh,
yes,
boy.
yes.
Oh, yay!
I sympathize with
Jeff?
Scott, because I try to do like short videos on my own, but it's just not the same. I'm like,
No, it's not.
Because-
Harder. It's so much
Because
harder.
I don't
You might
know,
as well.
I don't know how Chris, because that's who inspired me to start the channel, Chris and Dave, and
Yes.
and
yes.
I was lucky enough to get with what's the name of that guy? John.
John,
Jack,
Jack,
the other
John.
guy,
His name is Aaron.
something
Aaron?
Garza.
Razor?
Yeah.
You've been around. You've been around for a few years though. So like when I'm talking about how it's hard to like find an audience, like what I'm talking about with like DC Films Hub and whatever other dozen names you guys have had over the years.
Yeah.
Not shade. but no, but like you've been around and like you kind of built an audience, but like I think very much are like at home in this community now. That like what was your audience? You had an audience before, but like could you identify it as clearly with like names and faces as you can now? But now there's like hundreds of names and faces that are like real Anarchy readers, and before it was like there's people reading this stuff, we don't know who they are.
That is very true, because I mean, we used to the production process was different. It was similar to Scott's. We would do the podcast, we record it, and we edit some stuff out and then put it out there and upload it to YouTube. And we would never interact with the viewers. And now we see the same faces, the same handles, and like we already know, oh, so and so is here, and like I can like spot them right away. And I shout them out, and it's like you do create a community, something that we didn't have before.
I still remember talking to you and Garza.
And he was like
he was in his car because he was getting away from his daughter, and I was in my car to get away from my kids. That was so hilarious. How we're like,
you were our first guest, by the way, because I remember, because I was like, I want to get Dave or Chris here, but we already, I think, what's the name of that guy? Garza.
John.
What's it?
John. Aaron John.
Probably he's watching us. No, he's messing.
You might be the only person
I know he would connect with you and ask him, listen, can we have him on the show? And he reached out to you, and you were nice. Really nice enough to come on the show. But
that was nice. That was nice.
Yeah, that was before Cuz Wong.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Chris came on my show. I think it was like my third episode, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, you want to come on?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And I remember when he said yes, I was like, "Oh my god!" He said yes. All right, tight. And and then it was a really good. Like I remember we had a really good time. And but yeah, I remember thinking, I was like, "Man, I've been watching this guy for years. Now he's on my show. This is amazing." But that just shows you that, like, if we build a community where we're basically, as Scott said, we're basically just colleagues of the same type of work. It becomes such a better environment. And so then we can all, obviously there's gonna be things that we can't share, but you know what I mean? It's nice to know that everyone's out here and, essentially we're all here to have fun. It's supposed to be a fun thing. At least it is for me, at least.
It is. I mean, and then, when it came to today with the whole thanks Batfleck thing, I mean, we all just kind of,
Yes.
it got conjured up and it was like, hey, let's do it. I mean, it was a brilliant hashtag. I'm looking at you, Steven. That
someone shared something that really I thought was cool. Where is it now? They posted side-by-side screenshots of 2013 when he was first announced. There we go. Yeah, so they shared 2013. Yeah, I can share it if you want to see it.
Yeah, share it.
Yeah, let's share it. Yeah.
And I thought this was really cool because I thought the event was cool and everything.
Oh crap!
Chris,
Sorry, that was my bad, Chris. That was my bad because he still had his screenshot. He still had his shared screen.
No.
Wow.
Get out of here, Chris.
Needs to freaking fix that. Sorry, Chris, come back.
It sounds more like a user error right there.
Yeah, it was. Well, no, because like he still had his window for his screen. So I was like, oh, get rid of that. And it kicked out Chris completely. Jeez. Sorry, Chris.
Well, there you go.
Sorry. We just had to talk really bad about it.
Yeah.
And you
Back
had
down to the bottom.
It was too much cussing. They were like, "Get this guy out of here."
Yeah, no, too much of a potty. Oh, there it is.
But yeah, that's it. And it's the headlines from the initial Affleck announcement and then the headlines from today. And I thought that was a really, really cool dynamic of where we've come from and how these people
7 years
that were using the hashtag today, they all existed then.
Men.
They were all fans then. They were but everyone was floating around. There was no unifying anything. And so they were all the people that were like, why is everybody mad? Or some of them were even upset. I don't know if anyone in here was I was skeptical of it. Yeah. And not only has everyone come around on it, but also we're so positive about it that we've changed the narrative. And I said the same thing for the Suicide Squad one, the Aircut event on Monday.
Too.
There's been this, or on Friday. There's been today's Friday. It was on Monday.
Yeah, it was on
Friday. It was on Monday.
Yeah, it was on Monday. The haircut was Monday. Yeah.
And that was a huge success too. And there's been this idea that the movement happened and it took off and it was a big thing and people were taking notice and the petition took off and there were groups that were already forming that were really cool. And you had Chris doing your thing and Dave doing your thing and the Farookies and Squadcast and everyone was out there. And Fiona was kind of spearheading everything, and then everything started to get factionalized, and then RT Snyder Cut came along, and it was the intent was for it to be a unifying account, and I guess a lot of people took it that way for a long time, but it did some good things, but there was a perception because of that, everyone forgot that this was a grassroots organization, and that it started just because people cared about Zach, they cared about this movie, they cared about these characters. And people lost track of the fact that we all existed and found each other, and the hashtag happened organically. That wasn't a think tank produced hashtag. That was just something that Movies with Mayor posted, and people started using. And there was a wave that existed because of that. And then some people started sort of riding that wave, but thinking that they were controlling it. And then a lot of people started buying into that, where it's in order to have waves, we need people to control the wave. And so I think the Aircut event and the Thanks Batfleck event both show these waves exist because fans care.
Yeah.
And all they needed to say was, this is the day that you care on. But they didn't need a 30,000 follower account to lead the charge. The passion was there. The tweets were there.
We just needed the idea. We needed a shared idea of
exactly
what are we all doing.
And when you, yeah.
And then what you do is that because you know people, you text people, you message people, and you say, hey, let's do this. And then enough of us do that, and it just sort of cascades out. And then you end up with 129,000 tweets on Monday for Aircut, and whatever the number is right now for Thanks Batfleck.
Close to 60K. So yeah.
Right, exactly. So
Yeah.
it didn't
Nice.
and organized just meant you hear about it, you tell other
do it.
people, and you do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, that's. I mean, when it started, I mean, it was going. It seemed like every 5 minutes there would be like another
There was
1,000 tweets.
Yeah, there was one point where there was like a it was like 30 to 45 minutes. There was 5,000 tweets,
Yeah.
like around lunchtime
Yeah.
or something. I was like, it was
Yeah.
cooking.
Wow.
It slowed down. I thought at that point, I was like, wow. Because when it was announced, I thought, oh, that'll be cool. Maybe it'll get to like 30,000 or something.
Mhm.
But the point was that it was doing, it was the videos, and like that Man of Steel event that happened, or the
He's
Henry
Yet to
Cavill,
Rise.
He Has Yet to Rise event a while back.
Mhm.
That was organized where they were just like, we don't really care about trending, we just want the videos. And there was a really cool video that was produced from that, all these people praising Henry Cavill and how much they want to see him really support the Snyder Cut, was what they were saying, but it was a much more positive spin on that.
Mhm.
And so with Affleck, it was a maybe similar intent, because the kind of word on the street is that he needs some convincing. Obviously, they want him back. He's in the middle of all of HBO Max's marketing, right? They've already invested in Affleck being a part of their brand in the future, right? So, but it was a hard time for him, and he's got other things he wants to do. And like, does he really want to go back to that? How does he know that it's going to work out differently this time? And he needs to know that, like, not just that people care about him and think he's cool, but like there was so many messages that were about how he saved people from depression and reminded them that like what's important about Batman that's so different than everybody else is he's a human. And that's exactly what his arc in Zack's movies was about. Ben Affleck as Batman in Snyder's movies was about what it means to be a human, not about what it's like to be a hero, about what it means to be a human.
Yeah.
And so to remind him of like, not just, oh, hey, we think that you have a great chin, which he does, but also like so many people whose lives he changed and people he gave hope to because they remembered like men are still good. We can rebuild, we can do better. And so I'm really excited to see how many videos came out of this one, because it trended in addition to people posting those videos.
Yep.
But yeah, what a cool, and if he doesn't want to, that's his call. And it's like, no, I understand why and don't blame him.
Yeah.
But I think it's really cool for him to like, I would like for him as his career to not look back at that as a dark spot, but as a like, oh, I wish that it worked out, go out strong with the Snyder Cut.
Right.
But at least that you changed people's lives in the process.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I'll tell you, my 4-year-old, it really affected his life because he posted a
Oh,
video.
yeah, I saw that video.
Oh, that's
Cute.
cool.
Wow.
Cute.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's
And, and I want this to be known on the record. All I did was hand him the Batfleck action figure. What he said and how he performed it was all him. I just turned the camera on and I was like, "Oh my god, that is so cute."
Yeah, it's adorable. But when it comes to Ben Affleck, and I mean, let's face it. I mean, it was a lifelong dream. He's always been a Batman fan. I mean, I always go back to when Kevin Smith talked about how he sold Ben Affleck his house because it had that, like, a bat cave. It had a bookcase that opened up and stuff like, and that was one of the selling points. He's always wanted to do the character. When it came to him doing Daredevil, I remember hearing something, I think maybe it was from Smith too, that said that's the closest to Batman that he probably would get. And then, that ended up being, something. And then eventually he got, Batman, and it's a lifelong dream. And when you're working, and especially, being like in your early 40s, I guess, when it happened, probably, I don't know how old he was, probably like 42, 43 at the time when Zack approached him. And then he's like, well, I'm already in like this kind of advanced age. And then Snyder just said, hey, well, I'm doing like the Dark Knight Returns type. So then all of a sudden Ben Affleck was on board, and you could tell just from behind the scenes, set videos, everything, that he was having a lot of fun being, part of that character, being that, even being in a heavy 30, 40 pound, dare I say 40 pound,
mech suit.
Yeah. Being in that suit that's like super heavy. And then it's just like, that one right there. And then just to be like, hey, I want to do my own thing. And then just not working out. I mean, BVS got messed with, but then, eventually we got to see mainly, Snyder's vision, and then Suicide Squad got messed with. And then Justice League, obviously we know what happened there, sadly. And, it just was a horrible, he
Yeah.
his demons came out. I mean,
I like that video he did where he was like, "Oh, I had a great time on Batman v Superman and Justice League was
well,
I had a great
I
time
think he had a
on
great time.
Coffee
I think the
dude,
initial shoot, he had a great time. But the reshoots, I don't think anybody had a good time with the fucking.
No, he even said too. He's like 2 directors. It really doesn't work that way, and it doesn't work very well. And no, I think
himself, so he knows that.
Yeah, I mean, we can all tell by watching those the theatrical cut that there was no passion in what he was doing, and the scenes that they were putting together were just trash, and it's just really sad the way everything transpired because it really didn't need to happen. And I always felt that one of the premises of the Snyder Cut movement is that whole concept of for me at least, it's always been about doing the right thing, doing what's right, and what happened to him in this whole saga, you could say, is it was not right. It was not right what they did to him, but what was right was this what we're doing. Like this was the right thing to do, would support him because it was just wrong. And on so many levels, what they did.
And then, like the fact that Snyder is finally getting his redemption. Now it's like, hey, Affleck, let's get yours too. I mean, you're going to be a part. Obviously, he's going to be a part of Zack Snyder's Justice League. We're going to finally see where we're not going to see him with a goofy, stupid smile on his face when Superman shows up. Still, I mean,
and something will definitely not be bleeding.
No, definitely not going to be bleeding.
That was the worst.
One thing that I want, because I talked about it with Steven, is that we want him to come back, and we want him to know that we appreciate him and his Batman and his Bruce Wayne. But most importantly is his health. If he's in a good place,
and he is.
He is. I mean, he looks amazing. Look at the guy.
Incredible.
Yeah. So if he feels like he's in a good place and he feels that anything that could
it's all those dog walks, man. I gotta start walking my dog.
Yeah. So
apparently.
If he feels like anything that he does to come back on that role can put him back where he was 5 years ago, then you know what? I would prefer him to stay away and stay healthy and have a happier.
Yeah. And then, like, one of the things, like, I remember before, before AT&T and Warner Media really took over everything, I was like, no, I don't want Snyder to come back to this. I don't want Affleck to come back to this. They went through hell. I don't want them to come back to Warner Brothers. But now it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different ball game. Now it's Warner Brothers is third now. It's AT&T, it's Warner Media, and they are like, let's fucking do this.
And he won't have to deal.
What do you want? And we're not gonna mess with what you want. We want you to do what you want. We're not gonna do what they did, kind of thing. So now I'm like, okay, let's come back. Look at Snyder's having fun.
Right. And it gives them the mechanism to monetize stuff that they don't have before. And so and there's so many different opportunities there, and especially like it's sad because COVID has screwed up the theater system so much, but also there's such a bigger need for streaming productions now. And so what we've been saying since even before then, though, since like November, was once we kind of got a picture of what it could look like to be a series, to if it's a series that makes the possibility of like a Justice League 2 all the more possible, because you're not talking about a $300 million movie now. You're talking about something that they need to drive subscribers, and they've got this marquee talent on that. And so once you start talking about that, well, now Affleck could do it as a series, which is a lower stress for him. But also, what if they handed him a handful of a streaming exclusive package for HBO Max to do other non-Batman projects? And they can guarantee him the closure that he needs, because it'd be bad to return to the role if it's going to take him back to where it was before.
Yeah,
exactly. Leave it as a dark spot in his past that he like a failure that he can't go back and fix, as opposed to what if
Ryan Reynolds is here,
give him the opportunity to close out that chapter instead of just abandoning it.
I mean, he was supposed to go out in a blaze of glory, like we knew about. I mean, that's what he signed on for. I mean, he specifically signed on for BVS, Justice League 1 and 2. Suicide Squad, it was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna have a cameo, a couple of cameos, whatever. But he knew that he was gonna go out in that blaze of glory in Justice League 2, and hopefully now, if it all works out, we get to see that finally.
Wasn't his contract for 3 movies though? after
Who?
Ben Affleck's, because I
I don't,
believe
know, I don't know what he was contracted for, but he would have been.
I thought it was 3.
It would have
it was
been
3 too.
Suicide Squad cameo, the Batman, Justice League,
Justice League.
2,
Yeah,
and then my understanding was he died in Justice League 2, but I can't imagine him being entirely absent from 3. And contracts aren't always done with that, and like the Batman would have come along after, like he was signed for the main one, so they may have added one onto his contract for that.
Oh,
No, they
Right.
had-
Yeah.
So, or I don't know, or I really doubt he would be entirely absent from Justice League 3. But the point is that he wasn't going to be like he was never going to be a Robert Downey Jr. like 12-year
yeah.
right.
No.
commitment.
Because I mean, really, it's like with the whole multiverse idea, it's like you can run, a Justice League 1, Justice League 2, and possibly Justice League 3, have his character die, then you can just basically, because you have the multiverse, you can do a rebirth or however you want to do it, and bring the character itself, Batman, back,
Or just
without
let
having
Snyder's
to
canon stand alone instead of
exactly.
like we don't need to worry about recasting Christian Bale because Nolan just says nope, that's the end of the story.
Yeah.
That's how the story ends. And so let Snyder do the same thing. Let Snyder say, and that's how the story ends. And then do whatever you want in those other timelines.
exactly.
It's always funny to see that when Michael Keaton name was going around, how they're saying he's the new Robert Downey Jr.
I know, it's like,
what?
No, he was going to be like
Nick
Nick Fury or
Nick
something.
Fury.
Yeah.
Nick Fury, yeah, something
No,
like
no,
that. It's like it's just so.
Well, but hold on,
People
guys.
don't know how to talk about anything outside of the context of MCU terminology.
Right.
So
Hide your
Yeah.
kids, hide your wives. Mr. John Aaron Garza is here, or should I say John Aaron
Hey.
Brandhoff? Sorry, are you
John,
taking your name, or are you taking?
wow, this
From
is
the couch.
it's a
Trying to make
chillax
I know he's
mode.
saying-
It's a chillax mode.
This is a whole new angle. I don't know how to handle this.
Can y'all hear me okay? I'm
Yeah.
using a different reason. Okay.
I'm just gonna. Block.
Did I,
To block.
He's gonna block. Wherever he comes on, you block him. That's
Sorry, John.
did I hear anybody talking about, I think, what was it? Batman needing some guidance or some convincing? Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, today was pretty nice, huh?
yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what we were talking about. We were talking about how we needed to maybe sway that. Obviously we know that what he went through. He's gonna be reluctant. He's definitely gonna be reluctant. So
You sure though? I mean, I feel like he would have just signed already, right?
Well, I always thought that part of the problem was
why he's on
that,
a couch.
when he wants that freedom to do those other projects, I still look back at that period of time because I saw Live by Night in theaters and it was a great movie and it got screwed.
Yeah, it really did.
And
Well, you could tell he was pissed off too because he said
Yes.
he was like, everybody's coming at me asking me about the Batman film, and I'm on tour for Live by Night.
A passion,
So-
a personal passion project. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't even
Yeah.
like it was some other movie. It was like the movie that Warner Brothers was like, yeah, you do one for me, one for you. And he's like, this is my one for me. Go away. Let me talk about this. Like,
Yeah.
this is supposed to be insulated. Like, this is protected time. My safe space.
Like he even said too. He's like, I put all my passion into this. He was talking that he made this movie. With everything he had, he was so into this movie, and it just got almost railroaded because everyone kept asking him, "Hey, what about the Batman?" He's like,
what about what's going on with your script, man?
Yeah.
So that's why he's got a bad taste in his mouth. So it's understandable that he's going to be reluctant to come back. But obviously it's a better environment with Warner Media and AT&T, and with Snyder just like totally on board, and I'm sure they've had multiple conversations. I don't know how many conversations Snyder and Affleck have had, but that they've had conversations, and we saw that video that Affleck posted for Fat Man Beyond for Kevin Smith, just saying like how he was totally supportive. He loves Zach. He's said that many times. So I've always said it's for sure if Snyder needs Affleck for any kind of reshoot, Affleck's going to be there. He's going to be there.
Yeah.
He'll show up. He'll put on the suit if he needs to. He'll do that. But it's a whole different ball game if it comes to his Batman script. That could be potentially a series for HBO Max. I mean, just hearing about a Batfleck, live action series on HBO Max. I mean,
Daredevil had a huge following. Imagine having Ben Affleck do his Batman on that streaming
God.
Much more.
So good.
Yeah.
And with Daredevil too, a lot of the fight scenes in Daredevil were just really good.
Uh-huh.
And it's real brutal fighting, and that's what I want to see from a Batman series. Just more brutal fighting. You know what I mean? Where it's just more realistic, but just more brutal.
Well, we saw it on PBS
in a sense.
Do you guys know what the Daredevil budget was?
What was the budget
What
on
was it?
Daredevil?
Actually, it's 40 million. It's 40 million. Yeah,
40 million.
You know, it's crazy. So
Is that real? Is that real?
Oh yeah, that's a real number. Yeah,
No shit.
No shit.
I'm gonna Google
40
that
million.
That
shit.
number is something.
What do you know?
about that
What do you know?
So
I'm gonna
that-
Google that.
that trailer,
Who knew, right? Who knew?
I started working on that last night, like late last night, like 9 o'clock at night. And,
Yeah.
I started going through it and I finished it up kind of, obviously this morning. And I didn't you watch that trailer and there's so much of Ben Affleck just in that trailer. And
Oh yeah, you did good with that trailer. That was a great trailer.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But dude, that's all Affleck.
Yeah.
Season 2.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, your mic is
Mike's out.
Your mic, buddy.
Grace turned it off.
yeah,
Yes.
your mic's not working all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, I could barely hear you.
Everybody just nod your head, like yeah.
Actually, I
Anyway,
didn't see the trailer. what
no,
trailer?
you
I
didn't.
know. I
I
wanna
was
see it.
too
I wanna
busy
see it
getting
now.
You did
supplies.
a trailer called Pain.
Steven was right. Steven was right.
the-
Season 2 is $40 million.
Wow.
Wow. Wait, what was season 1 or
56.
50? Oh, season
Yeah.
1 was more.
they front load on shows like
Oh,
this. They front load stuff.
Oh, because they.
Because you got to develop everything and build everything. And
Oh, and you can just use it.
Have it already there.
I see. I got
All
it.
the stats, everything.
Like, that's why the Swamp Thing cancellation is so bogus, because they spent it was like $14 million building, like they built a swamp inside of something.
And they just cancel it. Never mind.
And then that was supposed to run for several seasons. They were like they front loaded the show budget into the first season. They shot half of the first season and then canceled it. Oh man, it makes me so mad.
God.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, can you hear me?
Weird.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Is that better?
We got John back.
So figured. All
Yeah,
right,
okay,
sorry.
you're back, John. Go
My
ahead.
fault. No. What I was just saying was, like, I looked at that trailer and I could tell, like, it was full on Batfleck, right? And I wasn't even including Superman. I wasn't including
No,
Lois.
yeah, you
And I
did.
wanted
See this now.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird thing, because at first I didn't know how I was going to really do it. I was like, how am I going to make this? I wanted to use some lines that were like my favorite lines, but as I got into the dialogue, I was like, I can't even, like, this doesn't explain anything about the film. I was like, damn it. There's so many good lines that Alfred and Ben have within their interactions just alone in the film. And then it dawned on me, like, if I made this film basically, or this trailer basically about Ben Affleck trying to search for something, and then you just realize that Alfred's constantly telling him, dude, stop trying to fight Superman,
Mhm.
and like,
We just recorded the 2 episodes for the Batman v Superman by the Minute podcast.
Take a drink.
And
Drink.
the next 2 coming up are it's the White Portuguese is not a man.
yeah,
And
I love that line. That's my favorite line
Yeah.
of that whole movie. Oh, it's incredible.
so that the minute immediately after the nightmare is him and Clark getting the information fed to them by Lex, and then the minute after that is the White Portuguese is not a man.
yeah.
Actually, that's the last line of minute 71. And yeah, those minutes are like so packed with so much of that Batfleck story of how many people have to die, or thousands of people
years.
died. How many people have to die?
Oh.
Millions. Yeah, 20 years in Gotham. How many good guys
Yeah.
left?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all that.
Well, and then of course you get the great
Information.
visual. And of course, there's the great visual that I'm like, I love it when people go, "Oh, did you see this?" And I'm like, "Yes, you mean the giant red screen behind Affleck?"
Yeah.
as he's-
Showing like a displaying anger.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
It's
I don't know.
visually pleasing.
Okay.
Visually pleasing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I think though is it shows Terrio's literal genius. The fact that he was able to create their dialogue, and when he's like, when Alfred asks him, "Oh, so you mean to destroy it, right?"
Yes.
And
Yes.
Ben is just like, "Nope."
He's like,
Like,
kidding me?
think about that. Like, think about that as like a simple, like, just dialogue. Like, okay, cool. Like maybe that could work in dialogue, but if that wasn't like Affleck saying no and the way they both just look at each other at the same time, I mean, it's just it's different.
And Alfred
Well,
knew Alfred's job is just being his
Yeah.
conscience, and he's like, I know what he wants, but I have to say it because he needs to. If he's going to go this way, he's gonna have to fight me to get there.
Oh, well, and you got Jeremy Irons as Alfred, and
I
the
know.
man is amazing. I still
Seasoned
love
actor.
your. Well, he's a fantastic actor with roles that I think some people have either, audiences today maybe are too young to remember some of the amazing movies that he was in to really.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Oh.
Not bad.
You know what?
I approve of Die Hard with a Vengeance.
He was a great one in that one.
But stuff like I wish more people saw his Lolita because him playing Hubert Humphrey is just like despicable and it's wonderful. But to see him play that role as Alfred, it's just like yes. And then to watch him go and do Watchmen and go, yeah, he worked 2 weeks on that. They filmed all his stuff in 2 weeks, and it was like, and then they just edited it into the episodes.
I loved it. That's exactly what they could do with them.
In here, we got another person coming in here, Mr. Fatal
J.
All I got to say is this: you guys know it's late, and I live in my mom's basement. She is going to kill me.
Yeah,
she is going to kill me.
We figured. Well, we had to bring you in. You had to bring you in pre-Justice Con. We had to bring you in.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be wild. I just want to know this one thing from everybody. What do you think we're going to get as a reveal? What do you think?
I think we're just gonna get a nice little clip of
Yeah.
probably something that's significantly Snyder.
Well, he said two things. Remember in the Grace Randolph thing, he said,
Yeah.
we're getting a clip, and then we're getting an announcement for the fans.
Well, one thing that I said on the Real Emotion podcast.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, take a drink.
There it is.
Other than the clip, I think it's gonna be a poster, an official poster.
Think it's gonna be something like that?
Yeah, because the image that he used initially was a monochrome, a black and white image from
the first image of Justice.
from the first image that was dropping Comic-Con. Yeah.
So what you saying, sir, is I got my standards too high with a Batfleck announcement.
Tap it down, Fatal.
I would subvert him a little bit.
Yeah,
I would subvert him a little bit.
yeah. Sadly.
Because I feel like even Zach was trying to insinuate that in the Grace interview because he said for the fans.
For the fans.
So that means it's something. It's something that will mean a lot to those of us on screen.
Exactly.
But it wouldn't mean
on the Martian Manhunter contest reveal because that ended today, right? Isn't today the deadline for that?
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was.
There's some.
Yeah, but he would need more time to actually like.
But I'm gonna tell y'all
But how
something.
many
I
submissions were there?
already got the cheat code. Just pay Chris $40, and he'll tell you what's gonna happen tomorrow. Straight up. That's why Chris gone.
That's why he's not there. Huh?
He checking his PayPal. He checking his PayPal because I just paid him $40 to reveal everything to me. I already got the inside source. Yeah, $40.
40. Okay.
$40 and a pack of hot dogs. You know how Chris. You know.
Hey, Chris would be a better source than some.
Oh man, Garza.
What's up, Chris? We were just talking about you.
Yeah. Love you, Chris.
Hey,
You're
mic
muted.
is
Mike.
open.
Turn on your mic.
You're muted.
On.
You're muted, sir.
You're muted.
So we couldn't
yeah,
hear
there
you.
we go.
Just saying, a ninja just came on.
Yes, sir. Look here, man. I told you, my mom, she's about to get me right now. I just wanted to say, hey, everybody. I love you guys. I always loved you guys. And can somebody take me out, please?
Okay.
Ninja vanish.
Ninja vanish.
Ninja vanish. That's a ninja out.
Ninja out.
Yeah. Ninja vanish.
Oh, whatever.
I thought it was vanish.
It's
I thought it was
vanished. It is
vanish
vanished.
too.
It is
Ninja
vanished.
vanish.
It
Yeah.
is vanished.
Okay. I was like, thought I got that wrong. Damn.
Hey, Dave, to answer that question earlier,
Yeah.
that popped up.
one?
It was about the company or whatever. I don't know about any company getting bought out or anything. I just make fun of Apple buying out Disney. But
Oh yeah.
I did mention something on I think on Wednesday that
On what?
there's something
On what?
that's
On what?
Where?
I forgot. It's some show. I don't have alcohol on me right
What
now.
the
so I
freaking
don't know.
name?
I had to look it up.
We do.
Okay,
We do have alcohol.
it was the Real Emotion podcast.
There you go.
There we go.
What I did was I had mentioned that there's something that's going to happen at Disney. It's probably going to happen pretty soon. And if it happens at Disney, as far as their studio company is concerned, it's going to happen at AT&T, and they're going to use Disney doing it as an excuse, and it's not a good thing.
No.
And so I think that's kind of why it's a hell of a drug.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, and so I think that's why all of this stuff has been happening with Jeff Johns and this whole Ryan Reynolds situation. And it's funny to hear about it because we're so caught up in all of this. We're so excited about Zack Snyder Justice League, but you got to remember that Warner Brothers is still like at war with AT&T. Like they're not buddy just because they wanted to release Zack Snyder Justice League. Like
it's
this
old guard versus new guard kind of thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
And Warner Brothers is not too keen on having to ask permission to do anything. So I mean, AT&T just said we're taking a Warner Brothers property as far as Matt Reeves' Batman, and we're gonna actually put a series on our side because we can.
Mm-hmm.
And all right, that's fine. So when you have Warner Brothers, basically the enemy of my enemy, right? So Warner Brothers, they basically had to let Jeff Johns go, and AT&T is now, of course, Warner Brothers' enemy. You add Zack Snyder on that side, guess what? Jeff Johns is probably not liking that situation. So do you think that Warner Brothers is probably cozying up with Jeff Johns just a little bit, just to kind of go, well, what else do we have to lose?
I mean, it's such an iffy situation.
So upset.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it's important to remember that like he's been like kind of sequestered over in his own little corner, but he's still the way these projects work, like stuff like The Flash that's been in production for so long, like he's a producer on that. Like he's not like he's going to be less involved in like future stuff, but his involvement doesn't just vanish on stuff just because he just because he's gone.
Damn it.
And so there's gonna
how you feel, Chris. We saw
in the same way that like after Silverman left, there was still a few things that came out under that had been like produced under his tenure. And then it took a while before like Emmerich's projects and stuff started coming out because he wasn't there. So I think that he's still got a say and he's got pull, but I don't think they're not necessarily like scheming with him or giving him any sort of additional pull beyond what he already had.
Man, I had that, when I was listening to Real in Motion podcast, but
you plug other people's stuff. Does that count?
But I heard that, and I had Ben same. I was listening on the side because I was getting ready for this hurricane, but I was like, I heard that. I'm like, Jeff Johns, like what? I had to rewind it back and to hear you say, Jeff Johns is trying to prevent Ezra Miller from getting in the Flash, and I'm like, what? And I was getting pissed off. I was getting pissed off. I was like, that motherfucker is still here.
Yeah,
there it is.
He's still
Someone kick him out. Kick him out.
I don't think he was ever. A fan of the casting in the first place of Ezra Miller, to be honest.
No, well, and it's been a struggle for power just in general. Like it's not even as like interesting as Game of Thrones. Like it's really petty. Everyone is just trying to have influence over their own little corners. It's like I don't know, John would have the better analogy of Game of Thrones, but it's like whatever the smallest, most petty battle in Game of Thrones is, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And
they're basically Dorne. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Oh,
gives a shit about Dorne.
Yeah.
Scott's like, okay, I get it.
They're Dorne.
And so what you've got going on with Johns is that he's remember I think it was Joe Morton said it a while back
where they were holding stuff from
where the reason a lot of the Cyborg stuff got cut was because there was still a Cyborg movie in the works.
Yeah.
And Johns wanted to have that be his story, so he didn't want to be boxed into Snyder's Cyborg origin story. He wanted to leave that open to do it from the ground up himself, and so that's why a lot of that was stripped out, even though it was like maybe necessary context.
Which is weird though, because parts of the version of Cyborg's origin story that you get in BVS and Justice League is it is the origin that Jeff Johns created in Justice League number 1, the first 6 issues of Justice League New 52, the Mother Box and all of that. Like that's his. So it's
Right.
so it's like he got it. He got his stuff in
But
there.
he wasn't.
It's under
It wasn't
someone else's
enough.
creative eye.
Yeah.
Not
Right,
Yes,
exactly.
He
Yeah.
wanted to do it himself.
and so I think there's going to be a lot of pettiness with that. And also, like the Flash was going to be Flashpoint, and then
Yeah.
and then Ezra went off and he's like, "How about I rewrite this with Grant Morrison instead?" And then also like Ezra's buddy Ray is not saying nice things about John's also.
Mhm.
And so so there's a lot of different factors in there. Some petty, some less petty. That I think are all.
But I think it's key though, because keep in mind, nobody really knows about. I mean, they may know, but if jobs are on the line, people are going to do some shit that they need to latch on to things, and nobody knows about it yet. So you don't not you. I just mean the royal you. You're not thinking about well, what's happening behind the scenes. Well, this is the shit that's happening behind the scenes, which is it could be the reason why John's name even got brought up by Ray Fisher, because Zach was like, maybe I want Ryan Reynolds. I don't know if I'll get him. Johns is doing something, and I don't know. That's full on speculation. I'm just spitballing. Like that could be the reason why he is saying something.
Exactly. Well, also Green Lantern is not in Justice League currently.
No.
So
There is
Get out of your heads.
So anything they do with Green Lantern is going to be done in additional photography.
Right.
And so as you know, Snyder and Reynolds have talked about it multiple times over the years, and that would be, I think that'd be a really cool kind of way to do it. And Snyder may want other Green Lanterns. Who knows? I think it'd be really, really cool to get John Stewart in there also if he's doing multiple.
Yeah.
Bring
us that lethal weapon in space. Come on.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I think it was Sam Parker that mentioned it to me, and he mentioned it to me. I can't remember. I don't know if he did. I don't know if it was me. I'm not going to take credit either way. But it was almost like and I said, I'm being serious, like I'm being humble at this moment. I'm not taking credit for
clout, guys.
This was not my idea. But I thought it'd be interesting though if we got a Hal Jordan, we get introduced to him, but he doesn't have John Stewart. He ends up dying. John Stewart ends up getting the ring that we see continued from Hal Jordan. And then we basically see the origin of John Stewart in Justice League 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that would actually be kind of a cool play. I mean, it would be a cool play on how John Stewart got the ring originally, even in the comics, because Guy Gardner was injured and the ring was like, you're not doing any good. I got to go find somebody
else to help.
I got to go find somebody else.
And the beauty of that is that you can involve that into the story, so you can make it serialized. That way it's not just, okay, well, Darkseid's coming, so we got to start the second season with Darkseid coming, or they can basically have something happen where Green Lantern is doing something, or he's involved with something, and boom, he gets killed. The ring flies down here.
Based on what we know,
Zack Snyder having Green Lantern on the HBO Max, wouldn't that interfere with?
Well, that's what I was going to say.
That's a different Lantern, though.
But with what we know about John and how he handled the rest of this, not only like Zach specifically having Hal Jordan, like John's going to be really protective over that. He's not going to want Zach to have any Green Lantern at all. But if he does, the notion of Zach bringing in, like, fixing Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern is not something, because John's is the reason that, like, that movie is what it was. It was a very similar situation. Came in and rewrites and all sorts of stupid stuff. And so if Snyder could be like, oh, here's Ryan Reynolds, let me prove that he could be a badass Green Lantern, that's a flex that nobody is gonna, he's gonna want to block. Not just
and
that.
And that's a point that a lot of people, I don't think, realize, because a lot of people weren't paying attention in 2011 to this kind of thing, which I think I've brought up multiple vodka streams. Is you look at the stuff that
we'll drink to that.
Yeah, well, I'm not there yet. But you look at the stuff that John's had his fingers into, and you point out, if you know the comics, how much it's influenced by the stuff that John's wrote or the concepts that John's came up with. So you go back and you look at that 2011 movie. You've got the emotional spectrum being brought up. You've got Parallax as an entity of the yellow spectrum, and think about what was the movie tie-in that was connected with the 2011 movie, and it was the Secret Origins arc that was in the middle. It was like right before Blackest Night. They did a retelling of Hal's origin as part of Jeff Johns' run, and that's where you get Carol and Hector Hammond and Hal, being childhood friends and all that. So you go back and you look at that movie, and I've never read the Berlanti Guggenheim original script that apparently you can find if you look for it, but just basing it on the product that made it onto screen, you just see. I mean, even if John's name isn't on the screenplay, you can still see his fingerprints all over it because it's all his ideas that was literally introduced 2 years before that movie came out.
I think everybody's like, I mean, you could see John's fingerprints on a lot of things. I mean, 100%. But the thing is, when it came to movies, I mean, from what I've gathered, it's just like it was a whole different kind of beast for that guy. And I mean, we see like the interview with him with Feige, and you see almost like how he looks at him, like he's crushing on him, kind of thing. Like, I want to be you. I want to be you. So when it comes to so I think when it came to the movie business, Johns just didn't know how to be, and he thought Feige is the way I should be. So
and he was surrounded by people. I don't know if like professionally, but the press was all saying he needs to be like. There's been an obsession for years about DC needs a Kevin Feige, and Zack Snyder was kind of like explicitly like, I am not. That's not what I am.
Johns wanted
because that's not what he wanted. He didn't want to do what Feige was doing. He wanted to do what Nolan did.
Yeah.
And so people tried to push him into a Feige spot, and he was like, no. And so DC was like, fine, we'll get our own Feige. And Johns was the one that everyone wanted. Like there was like borderline campaigns for him.
I was happy when he first came on.
Somebody
familiar with his pedigree when it comes to writing, so I thought it was like the natural selection. I was like, this is gonna be good for us.
Yeah,
right.
This is the guy who.
Me too.
And then we didn't know that we were going to get that writer, and as I expressed, on a few podcasts ago, the writer mentality versus the collaborative mentality.
Well, that's what I like to point out the difference with Jim Lee is that Jeff Johns is a writer, and so if something needs to be fixed in his mind, it needs to be written or rewritten, right? That's what he does to things is he writes. Whereas like Jim Lee is an artist, and so his role in the creation process is a collaborative process. He helps bring to life the vision of the writer, right?
Yeah.
Connect the dots.
Well, the thing that's crazy though is how many times did Reynolds just fucking hate on that Green Lantern, right?
Well, I mean,
he basically killed it, right?
He shot himself.
So imagine.
Yeah, he shot himself.
Keep in mind that is essentially him saying, that's a big fuck you to Jeff Johns because he was heavily involved in that film, right? And maybe he's doing it deliberately, maybe he's doing it innocently. He's just making fun of the actual everything, right? But imagine that's how bad he wanted to. He just wanted to hate on it that much that he wanted to shoot himself. And so,
or maybe he just wants to prove that he was not the problem.
Well, that's what I mean.
Definitely
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
not the problem. That's wanting to say, I want to prove myself.
Well, he did the exact same thing with Daredevil with
Deadpool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The guy in the red costume, Marvel.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So you have that, and you have Zach. I mean, who wouldn't want to be with Zach, and who wouldn't want to see Ryan Reynolds with all that top tier actors and just the league in general? Yeah. And so there's so much potential. You got to imagine that the same person that was so about, I'm going to take I'm removing Rick from the Flash. I'm going to remove Ben Affleck from Batman. I'm going to make, Terrio use my script. This guy has his hands in all of these movies for a reason, because his ego is just up there. He wants it he wants to be responsible for everything.
And not in his defense, but in clarity of the situation, he was brought in to fix things.
Yeah, he was brought in to
fix things or to change things in a different direction.
But the description of his job, what he was responsible was he being held responsible for by those that put him in power was to change things. He wasn't
Absolutely.
put there. He wasn't put there to say, yes, let's continue down this road. He was put there in order to make things be different than what they were, largely to be changed in the way that audiences and critics were demanding.
Right. And so you imagine him doing all of that, right? I mean, he obviously was confident enough to want to reshoot basically Justice League, to rewrite Justice League, to rewrite the Batman script, and get Rick out, make the Suicide Squad reshoots happen. I mean, he was doing all of this stuff. Can you imagine what that's like his last string of, dude, can you imagine if Snyder does his Green Lantern better than he ever could? He's probably going to be,
or even if it's just first. I mean, like if you don't count the original Reynolds Green Lantern as like a part of like modern, somehow even though it happened in the middle of like Marvel movies starting, if you don't count it as like the modern era of comic movies, you would let Snyder be the first one to put his like stamp on Green Lantern, and everything that Johns does in what he's doing for HBO Max will always be compared to Snyder. Maybe he thinks he could do it better, but that's not a gamble he wants to take, right? He wants to be the first.
He tried to do it, and he didn't. He fucking failed horribly.
Yeah.
Well, he also, because it follows with what he tried to do in the comics themselves. He literally tried to get his fingers into everything. I remember hearing a story back in 2011, 2012 that my comic book shop owner told me that apparently at one point Diane Nelson limited him to, you can only work on 2 titles at a time. Because if you go back and look at it, he was trying to do practically every book he could get his hands on.
Wow.
And when the new 52 started, Diane Nelson said 2 books. If you want to take over another one, you got to drop one. So if you watch, the new 52 is a great example of this. He stayed on Justice League the entire time, but anytime he wanted to move on to another book, you'll notice he immediately left a book right before. So the first book he left was Aquaman. He did Aquaman for so many issues, and then he had to drop Aquaman before he was allowed to pick up something else. So you kind of look at that, and I remember that story because, especially when Diane Nelson sent out that tweet about he's no friend of mine. What that did is that triggered that story from 8 years ago that I was told, Jeff, just 2 books. And of course, at the time, you think of it as, don't overextend yourself, Jeff. But now with more context, you could go, stop butting into everybody else's
like he's
business.
Always wanting to put it.
Remember the Rebirth. Now that you put it in that context, you remember when Rebirth came out. I remember that was one of the things that was really interesting was how was she still there at the time?
Yes, because Rebirth was 2015.
No, 16.
He had gotten more power by that.
It was right after BBS.
So the Rebirth announcement event. Somehow he was like involved in almost every. Maybe he wasn't writing it, but he was very clearly like hands on, not just like creative committee, but like everything was like being run by him for approval or something to some extent.
Well, and then you think about that's what Doomsday Clock was going to be. Was Doomsday Clock was supposed to be Rebirth? It was supposed to be Rebirth, allowing him to say, "No, I'm going to reset the DC universe the way I want it." Because the whole idea was we're going to explain the New 52 away as Dr. Manhattan screwing with the universe, and I'm going to use Doomsday Clock to, by issue 12, was supposed to be me getting to reset the universe in my image. He was basically going to pull his own Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
And then we saw how that went when he was stripped of that power, and then that's why the books got delayed because he didn't have the dictatorial editorial power to say, this is the way the universe is going to go, because you had other creators like Bendis and Scott Snyder and other people going, hell no, we want to do our thing.
Scott Snyder definitely did with that All-Star Batman.
Well, and at that time, especially Snyder had that clout.
Oh yeah, he did.
That like he would say no who's gonna say no to Scott Snyder when he's like, I've got all these ideas, and then like imagine him pitching that and then being like, yeah, cool, let's do that, and having Johns be like, I don't know, Dr. Manhattan's gonna change that. Like,
look at the character. Like Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo have created all of these like fucking iconic now villains and characters combinations
that are new, that are not recycled characters.
Yeah,
like new stories.
What has Jeff Johns done? Oh, he used fucking Alan Moore's Watchmen? Really?
Well, he recontextualizes stuff, but I don't know. Does he have any original? I mean, Stargirl, but
Stargirl is the original.
Yeah, right, that's cool, but you know, okay, 1v fucking 20 goddamn characters that Scott Snyder has come up with.
Right.
But you also got to remember too that
they make the royalties off characters.
Green Lantern. You have this Green Lantern that would potentially be Ryan Reynolds, then John Stewart. You know that it's not going to be just a simple, oh, okay, here's Green Lantern. He's just going to say a quippy line and then he's leaving. Well, he's going to be involved.
Well, and for clarity, also on that point, because of the if Snyder is able to get what he wants to include Green Lantern, this is not threading Green Lantern into the story of Justice League. Mm-hmm. If there's a Green Lantern in Justice League, in my book, that guarantees Justice League 2 is happening.
Correct.
Right. He's not going to start and end a Green Lantern arc in the Snyder Cut. Green Lantern is being brought into the Snyder Cut because he has use for him in Justice League 2 and 3. And so the fight to get him included is also the fight for Justice League 2 and 3.
Right, which isn't guaranteed, but you got to remember too. So just like you guys said, you know, what about that HBO Max show? Well, guess who's involved with that? Jeff Johns. And I guarantee you, he's not going to want to use anything related to Zack Snyder's.
No, there's no way they can be related.
Who do you think AT&T and Warner Media execs like? Do you think they want to listen to Jeff Johns, or do you think they want to listen to Zack Snyder? I'm pretty sure they can understand. I'm pretty sure they can understand the literal genius business move of going, hey, well, if we do have a Green Lantern and it does become into the second season of your Justice League, what if we were to utilize the Green Lantern Corps that you could develop or at least explain in your film and lead it into our new series that we got coming out, so that way it ties up? Why the fuck would you want to start everybody else over in another Green Lantern show after we already see this Green Lantern exclusively on Justice League? You know what I mean? And so,
it seems like Destiny, he always has to fight a Snyder. Either in comics or in movies.
Snyder's coming to you. Fucking Snyder's in this motherfucking streaming platform.
Yeah. You guys don't think there's a chance that he's already filmed any of the Green Lantern scenes that like back when he was doing production?
They set up some stuff to tease, because by the time he left, it was like the compromised version. And so what he shot was like the equivalent of like a post-credit scene, where they just had like green lights and they were going to take care of they're going to take care of more of it in pickups. But like there's no Green Lantern character included in any dialogue.
Wait, I'm hearing the Sam Benjamin. When he's not going
to get the fuck out.
No, it is not Sam Benjamin.
I still fucking get that in my mentions, man.
Yeah. Oh, I saw it today. And I'm just like, and once again, this is why it's so important. I think sometimes, I know that sometimes, like when I see chats or I see things in the tweets, and people get frustrated with how we all kind of have to continuously repeat ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's because not everyone's listening to us.
Of course, we're getting information at the same time.
Damn well, sure.
Yeah.
Even when they do listen to us, they don't believe us. So,
very true. Very true.
But that's what makes the whole thing so much fun, though.
They had opposite response.
Yeah, that's what makes it fun, though, is that everyone has, their different opinions, or if not, however you want to say it, about what's going to happen, or different aspects of the movie. And to me, it's just I love hearing it. And if they do bring in Green Lantern or in Ryan Reynolds, I mean that's cool. It's a huge actor to bring in to play that role, and which would mean that he's gonna have to shoot those scenes, which would be awesome. I mean the movie's coming out. I mean you go back a year from now, we never thought this was going to happen. We wanted it to happen, and we knew it should happen, but now it's actually happening. I mean, this is incredible.
Well, I mean, getting Reynolds would be a huge get. I mean, he's a A-list actor. You know, everybody knows who he is. I mean, yeah, when you associate him with that Green Lantern movie, people might be like, "What the fuck?" You know,
I don't think
there'd be some kind of a redemption kind
that
of thing.
movie is not widely known outside of fans, and I don't think they need.
Yeah,
I don't think
there's
they
no
need
connection. There's no connection.
Yeah, like the general audience is not going to be like, but what about Green Lantern 2011? Tell me, I must know.
That's the last thing in their minds. They're never going to see him and go, wait a minute, he's from the old movie, right? They're going to be like, oh wow, what's happening? This is tight.
To be frank, even if that is an issue, I don't think they need to even explain it, because unless if there's a conflict, people aren't going to be like, well, you're violating Green Lantern canon. And if there is no conflict, and if there is no conflict, then fine, who cares? It is spiritual. It's a spiritual prequel in the same way that you could say, like, hypothetically, the Nolan movies could be a spiritual prequel to BVS. No, it doesn't exactly work out, but Batman's backstory isn't that drastically different. He fought villains, and he alludes to that in his dialogue. And
well, and also let's talk about the fact that, as much as some people don't want to give the audience some credit, let's remember the fact that we've already seen this happen before with Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool. The character showed up at X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah,
and guess what?
Yeah.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared. Nobody cared.
There for Reynolds. Wow.
They forgot that first one.
Well, and let's be honest. You look at that character in X-Men Origins Wolverine, and unless you are deep in it, you have no idea.
I still remember
that's supposed to be.
I still remember watching like
Exactly.
the behind the scenes, and they were like explaining, like, "Oh yeah, see, we didn't want to make him like actual Deadpool, but if you look at his eyes, it looks like the mask of
I
Deadpool."
saw that stupid.
Yeah,
You sound like the people trying to explain Sam Benjamin being Green Lantern. That's just
Oh my god! When I saw that interview, I forgot who it was. Behind the scenes, just saying like
he posted an image with a green heart on it. Do you not remember? That's him being Green Lantern.
holy crap! Yeah, look at him. Even though
He's been very quiet.
Yeah, you know what? He shut the fuck up quickly, didn't he? Once it got announced,
once it was announced, he didn't say anything.
Dude, imagine
Bureau. I think that's it.
Just imagine in his shoes, right? Of course he could tease. He's not going to say no, right? Fuck it. Like, dude, if I got the film because people were like, "Oh, were you Green Lantern?" Well, I can't really speak on that. It's it's NDA. I can't really talk about who my character is. He doesn't have to tell any casting agents, anybody that he's auditioning. They can believe it if he built enough hype and he gets a role because people thought he was Green Lantern. Cool, dude. He's not expecting this film to come out, and all of a sudden it gets announced. He shut the fuck up real quick. It's just funny because I saw this clip of him. I saw a clip of him acting. I forgot what it was. It was like a month and a half ago, and I was like, "Fucking gross! Are you serious?" I don't want to hate on the guy's acting skills, and I don't mean it that way. But I just mean like, you could tell the way that actors present themselves on screen, and if they want to be a tough guy, and he was like being a tough guy in this scene, and I was like, really? Like, dude, that's not that would. I don't see that would have gotten. Just like whenever Ray Porter released that Sandman, audio, you go, oh, okay, I know why Zach probably picked him for that.
Look at that voice.
Yeah,
awesome.
Same thing with this. You see this, and I was like, no, that doesn't seem right. But again, he wasn't Green Lantern, so it didn't matter. But
we need to. He's a very nice guy, and you should feel bad for being mean.
I do. I know. I say that. Like I mentioned, I don't punching him in his face because he's a whatever. I'm just saying, like, come on.
Is Jeff Jones still attached as a producer to Justice League?
No.
So why does he have so much influence on who's gonna get to play?
Character. It's for control over the character, because he's not in there yet, and so the fight would be whether or not they can, because like DC or Warner Brothers technically has the rights to the character, and so they're gonna not necessarily block, because they don't, if AT&T says we're doing this and they're gonna do it, but they can be like, let's have a meeting and argue about this.
Well, right, they don't want to like
they're gonna make mistakes.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Well,
so he's just a roadblock. He's not a decision maker.
Right.
No, but he's also a person that, to be fair, 90% of what people know about Green Lantern and that universe's mythology is John's. I mean, what he
Right.
did from Green
as
Lantern Rebirth on, when he brought Hal Jordan back, there is so much that is considered now integral to the Green Lantern character.
Yeah.
That, yes, intellectually was created by Johns. The emotional spectrum, which means all those different colors representing all those different things. Entire cast of characters.
I love
in
how
the version of Parallax.
They did that with
So
Rebirth.
weird.
They had like the Green Lantern, and then Hal Jordan had his own separate like storyline.
Yeah.
You know, because he was like kind of just lost out in the cosmos with Rebirth, and then you had Cruz and what's the other
Simon
guy?
Baz.
There you go, Baz. Yeah,
love all that stuff.
they had Green Lanterns, and they had Green Lantern Hal Jordan, and both storylines were great, and they eventually just came together.
And I think that there's a really interesting thing about the fandom in general that was fascinating, is that there was a pretty tight knit Snyder community before Justice League, particularly on Twitter. And in a lot of ways, they've been entirely like swapped out. Like a lot of them are now like not, or they've kind of stayed exactly where they were. They didn't get as passionate about the Snyder Cut. And there's a lot of people, and I don't know where they all came from, that are all, and then like, not that they're not like OG fans or not true fans or anything, but they were Snyder fans before, and they just weren't in this particular bubble of the community. And now they are. And so there's a lot of interesting conversations that are happening where it's like, don't you remember what it was like back then? Or like, don't you remember when these conversations happened in 2015, 2016, 2017? And they don't. And so the one that I always keep on coming back to on this topic is Dan and Boyer.
Yeah.
It's like people remember because they're like, oh well, why would he tease it if it's not coming out? And remember, the Ultimate Edition was announced before BVS Theatrical came out.
February of 2016 was when that quote came out.
So like John says that he like Sam might have been teasing Green Lantern because he didn't even think that the movie was going to come out.
Yeah.
But even if like Dan and Boyer was teasing it, he was posting pictures in the flight jacket and with green lights on it. And
I remember that.
Yeah.
he was doing all the same stuff, and he was playing
Promoting himself.
even more than Sam Benjamin was. And Sam Benjamin is a like a military police character. But remember, this is a universe where Carol Ferris is already established as in a position that is kind of more in line with her comics position. And like Hal Jordan is not a ground, like an infantry of anything. He's Air Force. It'd be really weird to be like, oh yeah, his backstory is that he was a military.
Yeah, I can't see Snyder doing that.
Whereas like Dan and Boyer was a drone pilot, and that was like, well, it's a little bit different.
It made more sense,
but it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's just really funny to kind of be having this again, but because the Snyder Cut is on such a different level of volume compared to the situation with the Ultimate Cut coming out. While it's like contextually similar, it's like the support behind him, or people just, and like, Zach likes it because he likes everything on Vero, and so people are like, that's absolute confirmation right there. It's like, man, I wish I'd logged over the years all the things that he liked.
All the things that he liked. Yeah.
That were,
He liked the vodka stream, right?
Exactly.
He also liked kids. He also liked pictures of my kid's birthday. I mean, let's
All right. Well, there you go. Snyder Cut's gonna have birthdays.
He liked the posting. He liked the posting from the Real Emotion podcast.
I just took a drink, Ben. Seriously, you did that on purpose.
To go back to what he did with Batman and having 20 years already of history. Like he did that for a reason, so that we wouldn't have to worry about, oh well, what about Robin? What about all these other side characters? Because he knew he had a story and he was going to go from one end to another. Same thing with Hal Jordan. I mean, he could literally say, oh, he was up in space, dude. We had no kind of arrival of any kind of aliens whatsoever. We had no threats. There's absolutely no reason for any kind of Green Lantern to go, what's going on Earth? Like, maybe I should go check out, see what they're doing. No, nothing ever happened until Man of Steel.
And we're talking the span of how long between like Superman's arrival and Justice League. It's only a couple of years.
Yeah, 2-3 years the most.
So it's not even like depending on how they do all the different physics and stuff. it's highly possible that like they started going to Earth when Zod attacked, and they're just like not there yet, right?
Well, because there's so many different explanations for that, whether they have to kind of travel at close to light speed, or if can the ring open a wormhole, like, because there's so many different explanations in the comics that it's like, do they build a construct spaceship that then takes them there? I mean,
or maybe they know
like a Stargate, you know?
Maybe there's already a somewhat cosmic Justice League that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
Right? And like Martian Manhunter has been working with the Green Lanterns for years, and he just hasn't like brought in the rest of it. Like, I don't know. There's also
I like that. There's no news stations. It's not like anyone's going, oh, and today we got attacked by some Kryptonians.
Yeah. There's probably a lot of stuff going on in space. Yeah.
Dude, they could literally be light years away where they're near a black hole, and just pull up. They could literally use Inception. I mean, not Inception. Interstellar.
Wrong Nolan movie. Wrong Nolan movie.
They're all dreaming.
Yeah. Well, no, I was going to say they go to a planet near a big gargantuan black hole, and it takes them, an hour to get out of it, but that's really 7 years our time, and they show up back, and they're like,
you're talking about time dilation. Okay.
Yeah, Einstein relativity.
Time dilation, guys.
Yeah. Do you guys remember that?
Steven, because I know my theory of relativity.
What are you gonna say, Chris? You have
Oh,
something?
do you guys remember that? So that Vero post where he said that in the background had like Green Lantern spaceships.
Very
about that. It could possibly like Darkseid took their will or something. Is that part? And so he could be like the Lanterns could, like most of them maybe could already be working with Darkseid, and Hal escaped that. Maybe I don't know.
Oh, you already conquered Oa.
Yeah, they conquered Oa. I mean, that'd be a very dark story for the whole Lantern Corps. But I mean, I think it's definitely. I mean, anything's possible at this point. And like what Garza was saying, that whole concept where, if they kill off Hal Jordan early on, and then it goes to Jon Stewart. I mean, that would be something that nobody would predict would happen, but it'd be a cool twist of the story itself. It'd make it a more of a unique story at that.
Well, and the best part is that would already kind of be pre-established in the history lesson, because that Green Lantern gets killed. I mean, so you already visually get to see a Green Lantern get killed, the ring go off his finger, and go look for a replacement.
Yeah.
Lanterns,
That's the point, though. Like you would see, because obviously they're not going to kill the main Justice League members. They already killed fucking Superman. You know what I mean? But you still need some kind of consequences. And just like he did with Jimmy Olsen, I mean, he could introduce Ryan Reynolds, have him go out in a style like in a fucking blaze of glory, and just really redeem his character. Like, what if he was going out
pull a Justice League war with him where he goes up against Darkseid? Like, I'll take care of it.
And the parody
is broken. And then what happens is the Justice League really sees the kind of consequences that happens with going against Darkseid, where it's not just Darkseid shows up and all the League is really just taking him out, and of course we know the League's going to win because it's easy. No, all of a sudden Hal Jordan gets killed. I mean, dude, that would make all of the League go, whoa.
Well, that's something I've wondered before, because we know, because it's been confirmed. You know it because you wrote it, but then Snyder confirmed it a while back that the whole League was killed except for Flash in the Unity, and then Flash goes back in time, and reverse that. And now we don't know how everything is different because that was in the compromise 214, right? But I've always wondered if one of the aspects of removing Darkseid, because that happened at a fairly early stage in the process, of like, what if Darkseid like came through the boom tube and just killed everyone? And it wasn't about stopping the Unity. It like if Darkseid came through and he's just like, Superman dead, Batman dead, Wonder Woman dead, Cyborg dead, and Flash is like, oh shoot, turns around and stops Unity from happening. He's stopping a boom tube from opening, and then he successfully does that. And Darkseid's like, well, I'm coming anyway. I'll just do it the long way. And that's
that would be really
technically
cool.
That's what Mother Boxes. That's one of the major roles Mother Boxes play, is that they open boom tubes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. Terraforming, they're actually trying to open a portal. which we know
Right.
they do because that's also been confirmed. But like,
Right.
So I think that hypothetically they could do that with reshoots, or with whatever additional photography, whatever they're able to do. It's similar enough that they might be able to change it to be more closer to that.
I like that.
Maybe that was, I have no idea, but it's just a
That
theory.
way
I
it leads
agree
to
with
us
you.
being fear for Darkseid. Sorry, go ahead.
I agree with you on Garza. I think having him kill either Hal Jordan or just completely decimate the entire league on one shot, that would
Yeah,
give
like-
credence that this guy is
If you see how strong he is in
nothing
Justice
to.
League 4,
Yeah,
which
because
very
I
much
mean,
inspired by, right? Imagine
I know
it
this
through and it's just like boom, boom, boom.
exactly because one of the things that like impressed me the most about the not Infinity War. I'm sorry that I know this is a Disney show. It was which I didn't like, but I understood why they did that when Thanos just like destroy the Hulk, which is like the baddest in DCU. He just like Mayweather the fuck out of him like in 5 minutes. I was like, oh shit, we're in for something now. So having him just like kill either Hal Jordan or just decimate the entire league in one shot, and then have him Flash reset the whole thing up. It will be the wise thing to do because that will give you the notion like we cannot let this guy come back here again because he will fuck everybody up.
Well, and any great Darkseid story always has Darkseid with the major flex. I mean, even in a kid's cartoon, I still remember his first appearance in Superman the Animated Series. Spoilers for a show that's I'm trying to do the math now, 24 years old.
Yeah, 90s.
But Darkseid's first, yes, 1996 is when Superman the Animated Series started.
Yeah, 10 years old.
Right now.
I remember that show. I remember the show.
Well, but the thing is that what do they do? Darkseid even goes, I'm not going to kill you, Superman, but because he shoots his Omega beams, they zig around Superman, and they killed like a major supporting character who'd been on the show for like 2 seasons, and just to go, screw you, peace out, bye, and I'm gonna see her going. Okay.
Back to I don't know who had mentioned it or had said it about paralleling, but Zach basically was creating the first Age of Heroes to be the resemblance of a Justice League, and we do see that Green Lantern dying. How does he die? Because obviously we don't see him. We see him fight, but and that is Zach's Green Lantern in the history lesson. But we don't see him actually engage with a battle with Steppenwolf. All we see is Steppenwolf at that point in time stab him. And yet, so okay, well, is that our precursor to go? Yeah, whoever the next Green Lantern probably would have been is probably dying as well. Like that could be like a theme. Like, oh, okay, I guess the Green Lantern Corps just, they're not. I don't know. I feel like that would cement the seriousness of these, because I mean, if we just saw like we saw with Steppenwolf getting his ass kicked by the League, I mean, there's only so. There's only so much that you can see, and as somebody has watched Justice League as many times as I have, specifically, when you see
it's so hard. It's so hard.
I don't think Steppenwolf is gonna be as weak as he was. I feel like he was the coward.
I hope not.
I think he's gonna be really a real threat on this movie.
Right, but my point is though, is that seeing like let's put it this way, dude. Like I was watching BVS earlier and watching Superman and Wonder Woman just tag team Doomsday the way they do, and you see them actually just beating the shit out of him, but then all of a sudden he's beating them up pretty bad. Like that makes sense. Like there's what consequences, but not really. Like there's like a dread. Like you're like shit. Dude, I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. Like what's gonna happen? Because at the same time, I wasn't thinking Superman was gonna get killed, even though I knew that was Doomsday. I was like, I mean, no, he's not gonna do that. Fuck yeah, they're not going to do that. And I remember my first time watching it, I was on the edge of my seat, and when I saw him get stabbed, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I was like, damn, he's going to die.
My friend, I was literally going, they're doing it. They're doing it.
Yes, me too.
When he showed up, that was my first thought too. That was like, oh my god, is gonna die in this movie?
That's where they got me, was that I saw, because they put Doomsday in the trailer, so
that was the worst decision to do that too.
Yeah.
It was,
but there was a reason for that. But you put Doomsday in the trailer, I didn't automatically think. I thought that was going to be one of those things that they change.
Yeah,
Like,
no, they're not going to do that story.
Yeah.
But as soon as like Superman was like looked at Lois and he was like,
you are my world. I was like,
Yeah,
crap,
at that point, I was like,
God.
oh, here he goes.
Yeah.
He's gonna die.
And that's what I'm saying. Like when I first watched it, I was like, I mean, dude, and obviously he's not gonna die, and he fucking did. And I was like, holy shit! Like that's not a joke. Like you're not sitting there leaving that theater going, man, that was so fun. I can't like you were just like shocked.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe that really happened. Like, dude, like, I was expecting something, but I wasn't like in a good way. I wasn't expecting that. And so you got to think that that's what Snyder had planned for his Justice League. They're not all just going to start whooping everybody's ass. And okay,
hell
cool.
no.
We're going to have a Seven Samurai.
Fight.
Well,
Yeah.
and also,
Not all Seven Samurai live. I mean, they 4 of them died.
Died. Yeah.
well, because it's the same thing as the Magnificent Seven. Like
Yeah.
all seven of them don't make it.
Technically, the Magnificent
Right.
Seven is the same thing as Samurai.
Well, no, it is because Seven is a remake. No, that's my point. Is that when you do those homages to those Kurosawa movies, the point is you don't all
Yeah.
you don't all get out of that
No,
because there were supposed to be
you shouldn't.
consequences to the actions of the movie, and that's what makes the end battle. I never seen Seven Samurai. It's on my list. It's on HBO Max. I know. Okay,
Please pick him out.
no,
Come back when you're
I've
done.
seen
Come
both.
When you're done.
Stop it.
I'm surprised
it,
that you
guys.
haven't.
I know. I have the Criterion Blu-ray. It's on HBO Max.
Wow,
I'm
dude.
going to watch it. I've seen both versions of Magnificent Seven because I had to see the Yul Brynner one.
Both versions of Magnificent, but not.
I know, but now Seven Samurai. How dare you?
Prepare.
You did watch.
I don't know why do I show up for this?
I know.
I just jumped all
Love
over
you,
you.
Scott.
I'm right there with
You haven't seen it. How many copies of it do you have on your bookshelf?
Yeah.
that crazy bookshelf you have. Oof.
But let's put it this way. So we know Batman was going to die, right? So that would have been one of them, right? But who else? We know he's not going to kill Wonder Woman. We know he's not going to kill Superman again. I mean,
There's those 3 crosses. That's the reference.
yeah, exactly. Well, we know that, but I mean, as far as the League and Seven Samurai, if Seven Samurai was that big of an inspiration for Justice League in the original draft, you know that there had to have been consequences. This wasn't going to be oh yeah, we're getting the team together, we're all going to beat them up, and we're going to go home happy. Like, no, this would have been, and that's what I'm saying. Maybe what Stephen said is right. I mean,
Everyone died, and the solution to saving them is not stopping Darkseid or stopping whatever it was. It was Darkseid, it was the Unity, whatever. They would have saved him, but the ending would not have been "Yay, we are saved." It is "Yay, we have delayed the coming."
Shitty.
Yeah.
And so there's an ominence to that, but then also that the original,
That's true.
I'm still standing by it, and I think now that people have seen that storyboard, or not storyboard, but the Jim Lee art, that happens, right after that's a flash forward after Lois dies.
right.
So that happens at the end of Justice League
It is?
in the original script. I'm pretty sure it's not confirmed, but it makes sense to flash forward after, because you're showing why you're flashing forward, right? And so to say like if you're gonna jump forward 5 years and that's how you end Justice League 1 in the original script, that's not necessarily how it's gonna happen in the new one.
Right.
You're gonna do that after the inciting incident, which is Lois dying, or was Lois dying. We'll see.
Which
I mean, it would
which
make
I think
sense
connects-
because all that stuff is because Superman succumbs to the anti-life equation. So there, eventually, it leads into the dystopian future that Batman saw in his on his nightmare sequence.
Right.
So it makes sense that she's already dead by then.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so that doesn't mean Justice League 2 takes place entirely in the nightmare, because once again, we delayed a lot of things.
Yeah.
But there is, even if they find a way to undo all of that, the point is that because of the nightmare, because it happened in BVS, happens again in Justice League, we know it's coming. And so the whole point is, how do we stop from getting there?
Yeah.
It's basically it's like Terminator. Like Judgment Day keeps on happening, but we just delay Judgment Day with every movie. I mean,
well, you know, that in my opinion, that was the best thing about like Terminator 3. I didn't like the movie at all, but the best thing I did like about it was the ending when it showed that Judgment Day still happened. They just delayed it.
Yeah,
that was the when I saw that part, I was like, wow, this part is so good. Everything else, well, you know,
so
it
much
is what
potential.
It is.
Yeah, there was like it was talk to the hand. Yeah, a lot of shit. A lot of shit in that movie that was really bad, including the bad casting of like Nick. What is it, Stoll?
Nick Stoll.
Yeah, he was like, wow, you would look nothing like Edward Furlong or represent. I don't understand.
Oh, yeah, he looked nothing like him.
I'm not a huge Edward Furlong fan, but
I still don't understand Jai Courtney getting cast as Kyle Reese. I'm like, what the fuck?
I actually, you know who is a good Kyle Reese?
What?
You know who's a good Kyle Reese?
Who?
Anton Yelchin.
Oh,
he was
a good.
I thought he was a really good Kyle Reese.
Even when he said the line, "Come with me if you want to live," I was like, oh, yeah.
I actually just recently watched a fan edit of Terminator 3 that was surprisingly good, and 90% of what it did was just snipped out one-liners here and there.
Wow.
There's several fan edits. The one that I did, I think, used like the T2 soundtrack. Funny how these things always work. It used like the T2 soundtrack. It clipped out a bunch of one-liners. And I think recolored a couple scenes. I think it recolored the Skynet stuff to the Skynet scenes to be like a blue hue or something like that. To be like the Datadyne or what's Datadyne is Perfect Dark, isn't it? What's the?
I mean, when it came to Terminator, it's like I like the idea that the Terminator was coming back to like protect not John. You know, it's like, oh, Captain Brewster. You know, it's like that's who he was protecting. And like even John was like, "What the fuck? Why are you not listening to me?" And I like those little parts, but there was a lot of shit in between that just was
like, why would she send you back?
Yeah,
I love that because she's your wife. It's like what?
Yes, there's a lot of good twists. There's some good stuff.
Yeah. The execution of that ending though was great with how he's like, "What's going on?" And then all of a sudden the radios come to life. Like that's one of my favorite moments in the entire franchise.
Yeah,
honest, is when those radios.
The missiles.
Yeah, the missiles going up.
Yes, good stuff in there.
It totally reminded me of War Games at that point, I have to admit.
Yeah.
I just needed a computer playing tic-tac-toe.
Any of those movies in so long, I have no idea what the fuck you guys are talking about right now.
Oh, wow.
I'm just like...
It led into
Terminator.
Just watching Justice League on loop for 3 years.
I know. That's all I've been doing, man.
That's all you know.
Which is insane to think about because I feel like if we really want to think about it, Justice League has so much potential to just go fucking nuts. And, like the fact that there's even like the fact that we're in a position that we could potentially convince Affleck to come back. Like that's insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, dude, if we would have been like, let's get Affleck back in 2018, everybody would have been like, fuck no, he ain't coming back. I mean, me and Ben
very frequently.
Dude, I
appreciate the enthusiasm of fans, but I'm very frequently like frustrated with how I don't think people quite grasp how enormous some of the things that have happened are. Like even
you get a
thing or don't fully realize like how
they lack a sense of perspective of this has never happened before.
Yeah, but not just like it happened before, but like it doesn't happen. It should happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. There's a sequence of events that like not only did the stars align, but like the stars aligned and then Superboy punched time, right?
Yes. Continuity wall. Yes.
Yeah. And which is, like the stars aligned and then the galaxies aligned level of like how it's insane. And so stuff like Affleck coming back, like, yes, it's a possibility. And they're like, well, we got the Snyder cut. It's like, yes, but like that wasn't like,
like it was supposed to keep going. It was already supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Like that's what's insane. And if you look at that, basically all of the cast that Snyder picked just for this one Justice League film, I mean, he picked every single person as far as like side characters are concerned. I mean, you have Jim Gordon, right? So Jim Gordon would have been in the Batman. You have Mira and Volko that would have been in Aquaman.
Did he ever heard? Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Did he? I don't know. Did he not?
I don't know. To me,
I mean, she's the one that said she's the one that said he did. She didn't want to do it, and then he convinced her. I don't know.
I don't know. She shit the bed, so who knows?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
But you have Iris West or Kiersey Clemens for Flash,
Never liked her.
and Grant. I mean, what's his name? Dr. Manhattan.
Oh,
Billy
Billy Crudup.
Billy Crudup
Yeah.
in Flash,
Yeah.
and then you have Silas Stone in Cyborg.
Dyson connected.
Yeah.
Terminator.
Joe Morton. Yes, there we go.
So
Miles
other than Wonder Woman, right? Because Wonder Woman had already had her movie. All of those other characters and all those other League members, they didn't have them in movies yet. I mean, basically Zach was not in charge, but he handpicked a lot of their secondary, primary characters to be involved in their show.
He also, though, he wasn't necessarily picking secondary characters for other franchises at the time. I'm sure there was a good amount of consideration for that.
Kiersey Clemens was a Femuia pick, wasn't she?
Exactly.
Yeah, it was.
That's my point.
Well, but
So
also,
if you look at that, I mean, that's right there is him going, hey, I'm thinking I need this character in my story. Who do you think you have in mind? Who would you want to pick if you had your movie?
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously with Cyborg, that was never done, but you already had Batman, Ben Affleck, and you had, which is the reason why we got Jim Gordon in Justice League. And then you have Iris West with Rick, and you have James Wan with Volko and Mira. So, I mean, it's not like Zach was going, no, I'm going to pick these people and you got to deal with them. So
Yeah, exactly. No, he collaborated with the other directors, to make this a bigger thing and to have their input on it. Definitely.
But the spin-off ideas were a Warner Brothers thing, or
Yes. They were Warner Brothers thing because Zach just wanted, my understanding, and some of you probably have more inside knowledge than me, but once again, just what I've picked up on is Zach had his 5. It was a Warner Brothers thing for the solos and the spin-offs that once again, I always in my comic book brain relate to. Here's the main miniseries and here are the tie-ins. and the idea was, as some of the directors had their own ideas for the movies, they would go to Zach and say, hey, Zach, would you? And Zach would go, sure. Like the fact that in Zack Snyder's Justice League, that was an outpost, that wasn't Atlantis, because James Wan was like, hey, could I please have the Atlantis reveal for Aquaman?
But you got to remember, I found that via VFX that where we see him swimming up. We see him swimming up to that octopus, looking at the armor.
Right, look at the armor. Yeah.
So
Lannon's.
So if he filmed it already, that tells me that I don't think it might have been James Wan asking for it. I truly think. Guess who do you think it probably was?
Wait, asking for what?
To have the him swimming up to the armor or whatever, to the octopus.
But that wasn't the orange armor though.
It wasn't. No, I know it wasn't. But it was similar to what was happening in Aquaman, right?
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
And so what I'm thinking happened is, because he filmed it, Zach already had filmed it. I don't think James would have been like, hey, I know you just spent fucking millions on those VFXs, but can I go ahead and do it on my, dude, imagine the balls, right?
Side note, how excited are you guys for the fact that, we've got so much more Atlantis in that we don't even have any concept.
Yeah.
Because, and just to give you a little know,
stuff.
Yeah, I have a visual effects person that I talked to that worked on the film, and they told me that they were excited about this because one of their partners had worked on a lot of underwater stuff that never made it in the movie, and they were like, "I'm so excited because we're gonna see this stuff." And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool."
Wow.
Man.
But
I
love discovering these corners of the movie where it's like when Zach originally posted those Atlantis or Atlantean photos. That was my first reaction. I was like, whoa, wait, where does this happen? This isn't just an extension of a scene. This is like a whole. This is like if Lord of the Rings came out and there was no Rivendell in it. And then all of a sudden these pictures came out, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no. By the way, there's Elrond, there's Galadriel." And they're like, "Wait, where is this going?" They know it's Lord of the Rings, but
but it also goes back to the fact that no matter how much no matter how many stills he shared about the movie, no matter how many little details he's revealed with Vero Q&As, Look at what we're still freaking doing 2.5 hours into this Vodka stream.
Yeah,
We're
we're
still
talking
playing guessing games
Yeah,
about what's
yeah.
going to be in this damn thing.
Right.
Who else is going to be fleshed out? I mean, Barry. I'm really looking forward to Barry's character getting fleshed out.
Yes.
Seeing the Irish
I've always said
and all that
about
stuff.
Snyder's
I'm
movie.
waiting for Superman's big moment. No,
Yes.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
fight.
like
Like
the real one.
I mean,
Yeah.
How
I
awesome
mean,
was to
think
hear
about
him
it.
talking about Superman though, because I one thing that I said on the Real Emotion podcast.
Oh shit.
Oh, yeah, I
There
need
it
to open
is,
another
there it
one.
is.
Stop it. Okay, hold on. Give me a second.
It's just that I love to hear him talking about Superman because he gets it. Just the way that he breaks down how
there
to
you go.
humanize him, how to bring him down to this level, and then be able to tell a story about the character. He's just like he gets it. He knows how to handle that. Like there's been other directors that
Evil Superman?
yeah, Superman,
Evil.
and that
Sorry.
evil Superman.
Oh.
Like, come on.
Where was she going with that part anyway?
But I like the fact that he's taking it on
Yeah.
a journey because, dude, he was raised as a human being, and
Yeah,
we
exactly.
human beings by nature, we're supposed to be bad people. So he has to be
Supposed to be,
taken
or we
to that
are?
place. I'm sorry.
So we're supposed to be, or we are? Most of us are.
Well, we are. we
Yeah,
are,
very little
yeah,
hope for
because
humanity.
and it's not because it's rooted in us. It's because just the world, the way the world is. It just makes us the way that we are. So he's taking him through that story where he becomes he has to be
Challenged.
human. Yeah, he has to be challenged. He has to deal with keeping a job, having a relationship, keeping a relationship with his parents, and at the same time view the world and not feel like he's above them, even though he knows he's a god.
So
And now at the same time, he got to grapple with the infinite, like he said in the interview. That like, dude, I was dead and I came back to life. Now, how do I reconcile that I cannot be killed, that I'm indestructible?
And I
Yeah.
love how
At the same time, I gotta be
That's a
humble
really
about it.
cool idea that even with the death and return of Superman, didn't really get explored all that much.
No, not enough.
Not at all.
No, yeah, it didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. At all.
Before we continue, Scott, what are you holding and where can I get it? You have
Oh, this
your hand.
this
is
is
that?
my this is
Like
my
an opener?
Batman 66 Batarang
I was
bottle.
about to say that looks like the 66
That's so awesome.
Batarang. Where can
Bottle
I get
opener?
that? I want that.
That's right.
I've been noticing you like fiddling with it all night. I'm like, I gotta. Sorry, I didn't mean to like cut off the
No,
conversation.
it's all right. No, so what I was going to say about with Zach related to Superman, it's funny because every time I watch, or not every time, but we watched. My daughter likes to watch Man of Steel a whole lot. I'm like, all right, that's cool, but when you think about Zach getting, and even Goyer, because you gotta commend Goyer for doing this.
Sure. Yeah.
When he's sitting in the church and he's like explaining, like, that person they're looking for, it's me.
And the guy,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he asked,
look in the guy's face.
yeah, and he asked the serious question of, well, what do you think you should do? And he's like, well, I don't think that Zod can be trusted, and he's like, well, I don't think the people of Earth can be either. And I always pause it, and I'm like, so let me ask you, and I'm talking to Avery, I'm like, would you give yourself up, not knowing you have any kind of guarantee that you'll make it back alive? Would you sacrifice yourself for all of us humans? And I mean, dude, think about that. Like, I know how shitty we are. Like, I mean,
It's a serious
come on.
question, man.
It is.
It is.
Log on to
Oh,
Twitter.
absolutely. And she has different answers that every once in a while, depends on how if she's messing with a dog or on her phone. But I mean, dude, she'll sit there and she'll think about that kind of stuff, and you got to think like that's a legit question. Like, would you give yourself up for Earth, for humans?
Yeah.
Fuck no, I'd be like, no, sorry.
Yeah, we're
Let me just see if he was like really serious with this threat. You know what I mean? Like, he said 24 hours. I'll give him like 36, and we'll see.
I'm gonna
if,
continue.
he starts
You're
messing.
like 36.
Yeah. I'm like, Zod,
because-
can I join your team?
Yeah, because you don't know what he's gonna do, but you obviously know because your father just told you about Zod having this coup, and you're like, how the fuck is he even alive right now?
Yeah.
Okay, well, how do I do that? Because now I have to basically be in front of all these humans. Now I'm basically getting told that I need to show myself, otherwise these humans are going to now hate me, which they will anyways. So it makes it relatable versus me going, oh yeah, Superman, he's a Boy Scout. He can get over everything.
Yeah.
He has an answer for everything. You know what I mean?
It's so frustrating when people who hate on it keep bringing their nostalgia and they already know Superman and expecting their Superman to be the one.
Rescue a cat.
Dave,
they already
Twitter.
have their Superman.
What's
Why
that?
they have to
Check
hold
your
on?
Twitter.
Okay, thank you. Still getting that. Carry on.
Yeah, why they? Because I mean, I understand that you have some sentimental value to whatever relationship you have with a Superman, but you know, every now and then, like every other 4 or 5 years, there comes a new interpretation of those characters. You know, appreciate this this changes. This is a new take. And that's what I never understood. Oh, well, that's not my Superman. That's not my Batman. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Watch it for what it is. It's a Superman.
It's a different take on the character. And that's to mention,
and
in
this
Man
is
of
something
Steel,
that happens. And this is something that happens in comics. I mean, the comic book runs that nobody likes too much is the Batman Damned. It's not very popular, but to me, like, it's one of my favorite. But you know, this is what happens with
well,
comics.
Ben, here's the argument that I always hear, because I have a lot of colleagues and friends who I would say have that mentality, and I think part of it, especially with the movies, is this Marvel mentality of this is the continuity of movies.
Yes.
So this is the one definitive version at the time of the character. And
That's
what
it. You made Garza leave.
Well, but here's the thing is that
off the couch.
If Warner Brothers had just committed and announced at the beginning that this was going to be a 5-movie arc, I have enough people in my life who once they hear that, they go, oh, this wasn't supposed to be this long ongoing thing. This is just to be a little self-contained Elseworlds type story. No, not everyone digs it, but at least they would accept it and
but
go,
how do we know that he did?
Okay.
You know? Maybe he did, and they were just like, you know, and they just kind of, I don't know. I mean, for all we know,
but either way, if it's a self-contained story, then let him tell a story. It's a story so far that all of us have just absolutely loved his story. So let's let him finish that story.
Well, what cracks me up is like when like, you know, the people that don't like his Superman all of a sudden go like, I want to see a Superman that does this, this, and this, and then we go, that's Man of Steel, dickhead.
Yeah.
Yes.
And plus,
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel had a science fiction element to the story as well, which is something that I like so much about it. It had so many different elements and different themes to it. It was such a good movie. You know, the fact that, you know, he came from a different planet, that the planet, you know, was destroyed, and then he comes here.
One of the best things about Man of Steel is like when you see like, you know, Baby Clark is in the spaceship and is headed towards Earth. It's got all this music, and you're like, okay, we're gonna run through the motions of
exactly.
Boom, boat.
Right to the
Clark is in a dark
ocean. Yeah, you're like.
I went like, oh shit, they just did a fucking jump. I'm like, good.
Foreplay.
It's kind of like Batman Begins.
Right?
Batman,
like you said,
Batman
Begins.
You know,
well, but
it was the right thing to do, though. It was the right thing to do because we knew what was coming, and we've already seen that. And so he jumped ahead, knowing that, hey, look, you've already seen this part. Let's just get ahead now.
Well,
Nolan was involved in that movie, and that's why what Chris said, that they just jump in like in Batman Begins. It's just like all of a sudden he goes from a kid, all of a sudden he's an adult and learning how to fight with League of Shadows.
Yeah.
So
well, that's what threw me off about it the first time. Was it felt very like I don't know. I wasn't a huge Superman fan, and so when I was watching it, it fell into that like Batman Begins bubble, and then it just got so big at the end. It got so big, and I remember leaving the theater and just being like, "That was loud. That was loud."
Me and my friend were like, "Holy!"
And I saw it in Regal RPX, which like they're actually like louder than IMAX.
Actually,
Man of Steel was a loud ass movie, and like the soundtrack was just nonstop. You know what I mean? And so I love that soundtrack, but it's so It's such a
Overbearing.
It's all about the bass. About the bass. No
I
treble.
remember, like, man, they're just pumping this music. This is great.
That was
and
stuck
so
in your head forever.
yeah, exactly. And so like I liked it, and I was a fan, but it felt too much like they were leaning on that Batman Begins stuff. But I'm one of those ones that like went back to rewatch it, and like I was studying or something, and I put it on in the background, and then like 2 hours later, I was just like glued and didn't even realize it until I was like, oh wait, I'm like sucked into this,
and then
I've loved it ever since.
When they did the flashbacks, it was always like every flashback they showed was a challenge for Clark. It was like, what do I do in this situation? Either he's freaking out in the classroom, going, "Why are my senses going fucking batshit right now?" Pardon the pun.
Why am I seeing the shit and hearing it as like a what? How old was he? Probably 10.
And then when
maybe
he's bullied,
10 at the max.
He has got to hold back, and I love that scene too because I love when Jonathan walks up to him and goes, "Did he hurt you?"
Did he hurt you?
He looks down and I'm like, "Did he hurt you?" And then he goes, "You know what I mean." And then it's just like, you know, I think that's kind of my favorite flashback when he gets like picked on and then he's like gripping the fence and, you know, Jonathan just walks up and goes, "So did he hurt you?" I don't know. I just love that flashback probably the most. And then even like the bus part, it's like, what do? Do we let everybody die or do I just fucking bus up
about it?
Yeah.
I mean,
he reacted just like any normal teenager. He was like, I wanted to fuck them up.
Yeah, exactly.
Any one of us probably would have done it, you know, but he had that much control because he was taught that by his father. And the whole bus scene, you know, I love the dialogue that him and his father have when he goes, you know, what is supposed to do? Just let them all die? And he was like, yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Because it's true. It's kind of like, maybe you should have. But you know, you made this decision, and now we're going to go with it. But it's like that's how serious it was, and it tells you about the human race in general. Like they're not ready for this type of reveal.
And everybody tries to force that into. That wasn't a discussion over whether or not Clark should be a hero. I think that's the context people try to put it into.
Yeah.
Is that was not Pa Kent sitting him down and saying, "Should you be a hero or shouldn't you?" It was, should you reveal yourself to the world or not?
Now,
and
it's
that is
when
exactly
now.
And so the priority in that conversation, the overriding principle he's trying to establish is you shouldn't reveal yourself. And so, as like any kid, well, what about this? You know, well, what if anyone's got a kid that's older than 3? You know about the what if questions, trying to poke holes in your arguments. And so he's like what and not even that's what he's doing there, but I mean it is that very similar where he says don't reveal yourself. He's like, well, what if everyone's gonna die unless I reveal myself? He's like, well, now we have a conflict of priorities, and that might be better. You know, like if he does reveal himself, what if Zod came to Earth and he was 10? Then a lot more people die, right? Like,
exactly.
Right. Yeah. Well, and go back, and I think what gets missed
like
is when you look at the way that Kevin Costner is playing Jonathan. When he says the maybe, it's not like he doesn't just immediately say maybe.
I'm not equipped to answer this question.
He's like kicking the dirt.
Yes.
He's shuffling his feet. He's wrestling with the answer because in his mind, he's like, my number one priority is to protect you.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is you will be a hero someday. Too many people interpret the Jonathan Kent in Man of Steel as in hide yourself and never be who you are. Jonathan never does that. His whole point is you are not ready right now. The world is not ready right now. There will come a time, and I want to teach you to be a good man. So when that day comes, you can be the man your mother and I know you can be. But too many people look at that maybe and they miss it and they mischaracterize it because they go, he just goes, maybe. No, he like hems and haws because as a father,
he's so uncomfortable saying
he is so uncomfortable and he's trying to do the best for his son. And anyone who's a parent knows we make this crap up as we go along.
Yes, we're not reading from a book like, okay, this is what the book says. No, you're making it up as you go. And God, Scott, that was so well said. It's true though. It's like as a father, I mean, your number one goal priority is to protect your children at all costs. And so when he says maybe, because it's like his first thought is, how do I protect you?
Yes.
Well, and
you
Goyer
look at him as a
Goyer
father, not
wrote
a
this
parent.
as he was writing
well
this. His
well
wife gave
done.
birth to his first son, and he lost his dad.
Mm.
So like this legacy of like fathers imparting the legacy onto their sons, generationally. Well, and if you look at the difference with Pa Kent and with Jonathan Kent and with Jor-El, it's both very much that same thing of legacy is being passed on to Clark from these father figures. And you can see that is something that was very present for Goyer. Not only is how do I receive a legacy? What did he intend for me to be? But then what do I pass that directly on? What should, like, I don't want my son to be the way I am 100%.
Right.
There are things about the way I am that I want him to be. There's other things about my way I am that I don't want him to be.
I mean, speaking from the guy who doesn't have kids that I know of, you know, like,
that I know of,
you know, when Jonathan shows me
that,
yeah. You know, every Father's Day, I'm like, hey, am I going to get a knock on the door? No.
That was the UPS guy. No.
Yeah, thank God. It was just the Amazon person. Just
the Amazon
shit that I bought. Like that batarang I'm gonna buy. Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome.
No, but like when he embraces his son, when Clark goes, "Can I just be your son?" You know, and then he goes, "You are my son." I get choked up, and I'm like,
the
way that he fucking just goes, "You are my son," and just hugs him. I'm like,
Well, but then he's conscious of, because then and the fact that he's conscious of this is amazing, and also has like a lot of religious underpinnings, where he says, "But you have another father out there." What does he say? Who has a purpose for you?
Who gave you another name?
Who gave you another name? Right.
Yeah.
And that is so generous
what that is,
of him also to recognize, like,
you're
here for a reason, and we didn't decide what that reason is. But somebody out there sent you here, and I have to respect them.
Now,
and look the way Martha plays it when he comes back after being at the Fortress of Solitude. And he's like, "Mom, I found my people." And you just see Martha going, that's good for you, son.
Yeah. Jokes up.
Like, oh my God. Like, does this mean that? Yeah, it's just crushing inside. But to go back what Stephen was saying, saying how he was here for a purpose, and that's what I love so much about BBS when he's dragging him and he tells him, I mean, your parents taught you that you mean something, that you're here for a reason. You know what I mean? I was like, yes.
But even though
BBS got some great Martha moments.
Yes, there's some great Martha moments. In Man of Steel, I mean, one of my favorite Martha moments is when she just walks out and goes, "Nice suit, son," and just hugs him. And I'm like, so subtle, so fucking fantastic. And even in BBS, when all this shit's happening with Superman, what does Clark do? Calls his mom late at night, and he just doesn't even know what to say. He goes, "Hi," you know, he's just like, "Hi." You just talk.
Well, but then she knows. She goes. She because like she's holding her breath because she's like, "Why is he calling me?" And he says, "Hi," and she's like, "Oh, I know listen to the sound of my voice." Pretend it's an island, and I love when we talk. Since we're all haven't drunk in a while.
And then you got to wonder,
when we talked about that scene in BVS by the minute.
There we go.
That was one of the things that I really called out about that scene. Is that's immediately after the crescendo of the "Must There Be a Superman" scene, and the music is swelling, and everyone is projecting onto Superman. The Dia de Muertos, they're projecting the godhood onto him. The people on top of the buildings are projecting godhood onto him.
All the little
talking heads
are
are projecting what should he be, and even he's watching the TV like, "Tell me what I'm supposed to do. Tell me who I'm supposed to save. I want to know." He's got a TV dinner. He's like, "Please tell me what to do." And then Charlie Rose is like, "Must there be a Superman?" And he's like, "Tell me, June Finch." And she's like, "There is." And he's like, "Damn it!" And then
he has Paul Kent telling him how to be, and then he also has Jor-El telling him. So now he has two father figures that are giving him perceptions of, hey, this is you in this world, and so now he has to kind of balance both of them and kind of figure out, okay, who am I really?
Right.
You
Well,
know,
and they're
like-
both, and neither of
I
them are
think that's a
there either. To
stepfather
ask
Neither of them are
mentality.
there.
Neither of them
And
are
so
there.
the only person left is his mom. And so you get to the end of that scene where it says crescendo, 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 and then it stops, and then it goes to the house, and it's just dark sky, crickets.
Yeah.
Calls his mom, and so it reminds me of listen to the sound of my voice. And she's in an island just out in Kansas, and he's in the middle of all the hectic. He can't make sense of the world. Quiet call.
Yeah.
Or even that scene where he's in his suit, he visits his mom, and she's like, "You don't owe them a thing." And when he said, a lot of people got surprised about that. I'm like, I would say that.
Wow,
You know,
Parents tell me that's like screw them.
yeah,
Screw them.
you would be happy.
Yes.
Speaking of BVS by the minute, I can't not watch the movie now as a result because of the way that we break it down. Whenever I'm watching the movie and I see something cool happen that I like, I go back and I check like, what minute is that? What happens in that minute? I can't wait to get to that minute, because if you go and watch it, it's minute. I don't even want to say what it is now, but that line that you don't owe that world a thing happens at like 58 seconds in the minute.
Damn.
And so that from like 0 to 60 starts with like, we need to know what happened in the desert. Is he here for our will or for his own? And it shows Superman, and then it's like what, and it shows each of the characters and like sums up their like raison d'etre in the movie, and then ends with her saying, "You don't know the world a thing." And I'm like, wow, like how it could like grab a random minute out of the movie, and it's like, here is the thesis of BVS in one like
like 1 minute.
and,
Like,
and it's like from 1 second 59 seconds. Here's a self-contained thesis, and I said, "This is spoiler alert for the next episode of BVS by the minute."
Jesus.
I think it's because he cut his teeth on commercials and learned how to direct in 30 second, 1 minute chunks.
You're right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
He made a joke about that.
Fun, you guys. I love doing this. This is great.
One thing that Scott said that as a parent, we like
Vodka stream.
Ben,
Scott
go.
said, you said as a parent, we don't know what we're doing, and I think that Pa Kent, he looked at him from a perspective of a stepfather. When you are a stepfather, I don't know if anybody here has been in that position, is that one thing that you don't want to do is overstep your boundaries. Like, I know you already have a father. I will do my best to give you a good upbringing, but you have a father out there that you have to answer to or respect whatever his decisions are for you. So I think that's why he left that kind of open-ended. So like you have a father out there that probably expect you to do these things on this earth, and I think that's what he was trying to talk on. He was speak about it, about the
Goyer
stepfather.
was a stepfather as well.
He was a stepfather. He understood his
Yes.
role. He's like, dude, I'm your stepdad. I'm gonna do whatever is best for you, but you have a real father who gave you a real name, and probably he has plans for you. I'm gonna try to do my best for you, but you have to adhere to whatever that
Imagine
man.
if they've got
who
to
is your
wonder
blood.
constantly also, like, are his parents going to show up and be like,
That too, and you don't want to say the wrong thing because I'm like, oh, why you talk shit about my dad when you don't even know this individual. So that's
Which also makes the tornado scene so much more gut wrenching.
Exactly.
Because the last thing he says is, "You're not my dad."
Yes.
That was the last thing that he said, and that's just like, oh my god. And I did a video about that. It was more like a tweet about that. That's so many people.
Where did you make that video?
On the Nicotina show. It was on there.
Oh my god, dude.
So many people saw that scene and they thought, well, this is stupid. Like, just go save him. Like, forget the dog. This is dumb. Like, why wouldn't he save him for? You know what I mean? The thing is, like, his father, he's following what his father had taught him his entire life. When his father said, no, don't, he was listening to his father, going by his beliefs.
Oh, so for once, that's why listen to me, and it's my life at stake this time.
Exactly, right? And it just adds more of the conflict within Clark that he's having to emotionally deal with and psychologically deal with. Because I mean, imagine watching your father die in front of you, and That's just
Oh, no, it's
dramatic.
fun. Yeah, and I'm one of those that admits, like, at first I didn't like the tornado scene because I was like, I like the Don, I like the original was like, okay, he had a heart attack. That's something Clark could not save him from, But after a while, after watching how many times, now I truly cherish that scene when he like holds his hand out, and Clark is just like, "What the fuck do I do? I could just save you right now." I fucking choke up. At first, I was like, "Oh, fuck this, man! It should be the other way." And then, bam!
Yeah.
Now I'm
But
like,
there was a part of me that loved the fact that Superman 78 was about learning there are things he can't control.
yeah.
And in Man of Steel, it's about, no, I could control this,
But should I?
but should I? I have to learn the choices I'm going to have to make in my life.
Right.
And that, I think, and I'm not crapping on Superman 78, but I'm trying to say is stop trying to make Man of Steel fit Superman 78. Superman 78 wanted to teach him there are things he can't control, and then weirdly kind of subverts that by him turning the earth around at the end, which means he can control it.
I'm still not a fan of that. Even though I like it when he was really angry. And
I don't know that was a power he had.
That, but
yeah, exactly.
But of course, it was also supposed to be the ending for Superman 2.
I love how
It wasn't
Jarbo
supposed
shows
to
up
be-
in the chat for the you yeah.
Indeed.
Just in time to talk about the tornado scene again. Like this is like if he's on the like that's how you know. Like I should have known when we started talking about the tornado scene. Been like, wait, Jarbo's got to be here because that comes up every time.
Well,
Really?
and I
That's
also
funny.
I want to put in a plug for somebody else's show who did a great breakdown of that. But I want to shout out to Doc Awkward over at Man of Steel Answers Insight Commentary. That
Do a toast.
That podcast is, I'm sorry, no episode is probably, I think an hour is you being lucky for the audio essays that man does. But he did at least one, if not a series of episodes about the tornado scene. And it's,
I'm about to get off, but I was going to say,
wow, you're really enjoying yourself.
yeah,
He's not. By the way,
It's been very quiet over there.
It's funny.
He's hanging out.
In the chat was like, "Why is Garza pissed?" I'm like,
he's not pissed. Why would you?
we're just talking.
I
Usually, I only talk about
Listening.
controversial, right?
Yeah.
I'm just listening. But what I was saying is, I feel like that would probably be more of an emotional stake, right? Knowing that Clark is in Man of Steel, he allows his father to die. And in BVS, he is realizing that in order to prevent basically Doomsday from just destroying and wreaking havoc everywhere, that he's going to have to sacrifice himself. And so finally, when he comes back in Justice League, and then to have him be, because we don't really see him through at least probably halfway of the series before he gets involved with Bruce again, right? So then having that kind of relationship, and then in whatever sequel series or whatever, Bruce being the one to actually sacrifice himself and Clark actually accepting that, I bet it would be just so fucking emotional.
Oh yeah, that's a really interesting point.
That
But
is
letting Bruce make the sacrifice,
dude,
that allowing Bruce
No
to be the
wonder
one to
he
make
was-
the sacrifice is going to take just as much from him as
Oh.
doing it himself.
which would also be
Wow.
powerful with
Very
the
well
idea that he names his, because in the comics, his son's name is Jonathan.
Jonathan, yeah.
But in the movie,
Bruce.
the idea was it was going to be Bruce.
Bruce.
I love that. Because,
Whoa.
I want to see that scene of like Superman carrying the lifeless body of Batman. I will fucking bawl my goddamn eyes out. If I
Yes.
do that.
Yes.
I
That's an
cried.
amazing
I cried with
connection.
Death of Superman. I mean, like,
That's amazing
know,
connection.
I choked up and cried when that happened. I still get choked up when that happens. But to see,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Damn.
Zach wouldn't do it any other way other than
oh Jesus!
Wow. Wow.
Oh, my
Such a
God.
beautiful scene too. It's like just being able to see that scene that Dave was talking about,
Wow.
even if we know it's coming or we have an idea that it's going to
I'm
come.
not ready for it. I'm not
Oh
ready.
no.
When we see it, it's going to be like, no, all this that we went through.
Wow.
What, Nick?
Wow.
Nick, what are you talking about? I watch the same movie. Oh, I can watch the same movies over and over again.
Still get
I
choked
will,
up.
It's still
and I will
yeah.
still man cry. I mean,
Yeah.
I might
Wow.
watch BTS.
The Truman Show always does it to
Wait,
me.
Okay, yeah. Garza's leaving.
Bye, Garza.
Hey, Garza.
Bye, buddy.
Anything else?
Later.
Yeah, no.
We can define you.
I'll straight the conversations and controversial topics tomorrow.
All right.
Crisis on Infinite Streams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Tomorrow, buddy.
Garza.
That's his
Thank you
out plug.
for being a part of the event. Thank you for being a part of it. It would not have been complete without you and Ben and the Real Emotion podcast. I wanted you guys in from the start, and thank you so much for being a part of it because it brought everything together, and it had to be like you guys had to be a part of it, and you are a part of it. So thank you so much. Thank you.
I appreciate it, man. You guys have fun. You'll catch us on the Real Emotion. Y'all drink.
Yay.
All right.
Come together right now over me.
It's not that bad, guys.
Yeah.
We're not getting
Hey,
that
you weren't.
song.
You weren't.
not getting-
Ben, you weren't.
we're not-
You didn't like that song, right? I think.
No, I hated that fucking song. I don't
Oh,
like.
yeah.
I don't like Beatles.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
I remember he kept saying that. I was like, really?
Song, but
It's not that I'm a purist, but I don't like Beatles remake. I love the Beatles. I don't hate when somebody does a remake.
great.
See, it's
What's
so
that?
funny because I gave Steven and Dave like
Hey.
a
First
souped up.
time.
I know, right? as souped up. Screw you, Steven. Why I put up with you, I have no idea.
What?
This
But-
one, my favorite hip hop group of all time is Wu-Tang Clan, and they made a song called "My Guitar." While my guitars, it's based off of "While My Guitar Weeps," and
Oh, yeah.
I heard that shit. I was like, "Oh my god, I fucking hate you." And I couldn't. Yeah, I just like tuned them out for a while because they
Oh,
butchered
wow.
the fuck
Really?
out of the
You're not a
song.
fan of
Remake.
I don't like cover. Well, I like some covers. I just don't like when
Hey,
the cover.
Okay, Ben, here's the question I have for you when it comes to covers. Because technically, All Along the Watchtower is a Bob Dylan song, but I
Yes.
will put in the Jimi Hendrix version
Hendrix is
Yeah.
10 out of 10
Well,
times.
It's Jimi Hendrix. What the fuck?
Jimi
Well,
Hendrix.
there's a lot of good songs that are covers that no one ever really knows about. Like Days of Confused by Led Zeppelin. That's a cover.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
You get that
No,
all
he
that shit
hates
with
it.
blues
No.
stuff where it's like
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin is really into all that old blues, and so they have a bunch of covers that are like that where it's like, no, this is just like a song everyone did, and they just kind of did their thing with it.
Because
Yeah.
Beatles, the Beatles even did a cover of this is the weird thing, and I'm trying to remember. I think it's on the Meet the Beatles album. They did a cover of a show tune from the Fantastics, which was a Broadway musical.
Oh wow.
So I'm
What's a song
just
by-
telling you, even the Beatles did covers, Ben.
Yeah,
Just
but
saying.
I don't like when they covered that.
Dishes by
But did you
Stevie
like
Wonder.
it before you knew it was a cover?
No, but Very Superstitious by Stevie Wonder. Very superstitious.
Superstition.
cover.
Writing
Yeah.
on the wall.
That's a cover. But the thing about that cover is that he helped write that song for somebody else. So he still had a connection to it.
Really?
And then he
Yeah, ownership.
and then he ended up recording it on his own album. And it sounded like when you compare the two of them,
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder's is like way better.
I wonder if there's like a beef there.
the-
The original artist is like,
I don't know. There's a YouTube video out there that describes so many different covers from all these big artists, and it's really
Yeah.
incredible because a lot of these songs, I'm like, what? There's no way that was a cover. No, that's impossible. But,
I used to have a
like,
kick for. I used to love all the songs that are like the most covered songs, like "I Shot the Sheriff" or
Oh,
or "While My
Oh,
Guitar
Marty.
Gently Weeps," or a lot of those. I used to love. Like I would make like whole playlists of like Hallelujah, of just like just covers of every
Have you-
different
I love
version of it.
Hallelujah.
You know what the latest
Hallelujahs.
cover is? Chris Cornell, that somebody released Chris Cornell doing a cover of Patience by Guns N' Roses. Have you guys heard that yet?
Interesting.
No, I haven't.
No.
It's a very interesting
Chris
take.
Cornell.
Yes, I
Put
mean,
it on, Chris. Put it on.
I know, right?
what's the
Yeah.
name of the new
Copyright.
frontman for Queen?
What would you say,
Um,
Ben?
That dude, the new frontman for Queen.
Oh, Adam Lambert.
Adam Lambert. Oh, every time I hear him singing anything Freddie Mercury, I was like, oh God, no, turn the shit off.
Well, that's because it's Freddie Mercury. I mean, honestly, you don't
Yes.
you don't follow
emulate
Freddie
it.
Mercury.
Emulate it.
Exactly. I'm like, what do you
It's
even
hard to get
try?
Yeah.
Can't emulate.
I think maybe sometimes I'm a little bit more open to covers because my favorite genre, I mean, Sinatra's my guy. That the Rat Pack is like my era. And when you sing standards,
The Rat Pack.
yes.
Showing your age there, buddy.
I can Scott's I mean, listen to the sound of Scott's voice. I could see him. I could see Scott.
I could see him. Yeah.
Put the hat on.
that.
Put the hat.
Oh, yeah, I wish I had that.
Put the hat.
Where's the
hat.
hat?
Where's the hat?
Oh, the hat. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Totally
Yeah, here we
karaoke.
go.
There we go. Now he's working.
Oh,
I mean, no, Dean Martin and Bobby Darin are like my go-tos at karaoke bars. But that's my point.
And
is
you
that-
love to do a swing
I knew
dancing, don't you?
Yes, I do. Thank you,
You
Steven.
do love
okay?
swing dancing.
But here's the thing: is that I think the reason I'm more open to
Yeah.
covers is that every version. I mean, the standards. The whole point, the reason they're called standards, is because everybody sings them, and it's fun to listen to the way that everybody does the song differently, and finding whose version of a song do you
Better. Yeah.
prefer.
Sometimes
Right.
it could be better.
I just didn't like that come together
Just
song.
sometimes.
Period.
There we
I
circle
don't know,
back to that.
I like Gary Clark.
Circle back to the point.
I like his rendition. Gary Clark Jr. and Junkie XL doing that rendition. I thought it was actually pretty damn good. I don't know.
I don't think
I'm
that
there
song is
with
gonna
you.
show. I don't think that song is gonna show up anywhere near this this version of.
I don't think it is either. No,
Yeah.
You know what
I
I
don't
heard
think that was the
recently that was a
idea.
pretty bomb cover
What?
is Carrie Underwood singing Seven Nation Army.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my God.
What?
Yeah.
Carrie Underwood?
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah."
Interesting.
I don't know.
You sound like you liked it though.
He's like, yeah. He's like listening to it right now. No?
Yeah, like he has like
Sorry.
Carrie Underwood.
No.
entire catalog.
I'll correct myself. It's Kelly Clarkson.
Oh,
Kelly Clarkson singing
oh,
Seven Nation
okay,
Army.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't-
It's
Still,
She's cool.
No. It's good. It's good.
American Idol.
yeah, I knew he liked it because he was like, yeah.
Yeah. No.
Earlier, Dave
Hey,
said
we're
how
3 hours into the vodka stream. Give me a break.
This is how it is.
One of my favorite bands, Metallica, they did a whole album where they covered songs, and a lot of, I mean, like Turn the Page. I almost like their rendition better than who did originally Turn the Page. Somebody in the chat.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm like totally drawing a blank. But Turn the Page, I like Metallica's version.
Bob Seger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I know. Shit. Yeah. Fucking vodka. No, but like I like their version better. I do, because just the way, I mean, I like Bob Seger's version too with the saxophone, but for some reason I like it better when Kirk Hammett's like fucking hitting the fucking notes on his guitar with that same.
Alien Art Farm, Smooth Criminal. That's a really good example of one that like is not superior to the original.
Now Ben's like, wait a minute.
But
That was a very good. No,
but
that
it's
was
a kick-ass
cover.
song. Yeah.
That was a theme song of that summer.
Yeah.
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 No, they did a good job with that cover.
They did.
I always think
there was
of covers as interpretations for another, just like how we're thinking of comic book movies.
That's how
different interpretations.
That's how Limp Bizkit got to where they were. They covered, you got to have faith. With fucking faith. Yeah.
Ugh,
I also love. There's a lot of. I used to work a lot of festivals when I lived in Chicago. I helped a friend run a business, and there was a band that was like an awesome cover band that would show up. Like we would always check the schedule to see if they'd show up there, and it's really cool to find bands that are like local, because it's hard to find like local bands that do good original music. But if you can find someone who's got like a style with their covers, not just like does covers, but like does their own thing with them, and it was a oh man, I can't remember their name now, but it was a super cool thing to like get that new flavor.
Yeah, speaking of covers, Foo Fighters did a good cover of Baker Street on their Color and the Shape, like the B-side. Yeah, look up that. look up Baker Street. You know, you guys know what
Baker Street Foo Fighters, you said?
Yeah, look up that one.
Okay.
Good cover. They did a good cover. It was like 25 years ago. Like when they did the second album, they did a cover of Baker Street, and it was actually pretty damn good.
Have you guys ever seen Sick Puppies cover Nirvana?
No,
It's so
Maybe
bad.
I have. You know what? That sounds familiar. Maybe I have.
There's it's a radio set. I don't remember what it was called. I'm pretty sure it was Sick Puppies, but it was there's like a famously bad like studio session that is like it's on YouTube. You'll find it where he just like goes way too. He leans into the Cobain.
Yes,
way too much.
It's so bad. It's terrible. He just like.
That's not good.
Wait, was it?
Yeah.
What? Who was it?
I think it was Sick
No,
Puppies.
Puddle Mud. It was Puddle Mud.
It was Puddle of Mud. Thank you.
Puddle
Thank
Mud.
you.
Yes.
Oh,
It's so bad.
Worst.
So bad.
Because I love Puddle of Mud.
Yes.
Like she fucking hates me. Like that was
Actually-
speaking of summer songs. Like that was a song of the
Sorry,
summer
over
one.
here.
What?
Integrity
Yes,
101,
Nick's doing the thing I do. Good. Yay.
Billie Jean,
Chris
Chris
Cornell
Cornell, Billie
covering,
Jean.
Billie Jean. That was a great cover.
One? Chris
It was
Cornell. What?
Cornell,
Billie Jean.
Chris Cornell
Oh, yeah.
covering Billie Jean. It's a great cover song.
Well, it's Chris Cornell, man. I mean, it's like I said, even the Patience song that was just recently released. It's like it's weird, but when he starts singing, you're like, God damn it, that guy just fucking had such a unique voice,
Yeah.
and it works. Yeah, even Nine Inch Nails, or no, Johnny Cash's version of "Hurt."
Yeah.
Also,
Yes, that's a great one.
Lenny Kravitz, Are You Gonna Walk Away, or whatever the song is.
Which one?
Lenny Kravitz had that song that was so popular.
American Woman.
yeah, American Woman. Yeah,
American Woman.
I prefer Lenny Kravitz's version is way better. The Guess Who one is like it's good, but after listening to Lenny Kravitz one for a long time, I went back and I was like, oh wow, this is weak.
Yeah.
It's like so set like 70s, just like they're just not willing to like kick
What's
it.
funny is that I went and saw Bob Marley and the Wailers, right? And this was like a few years ago. So they're all dead except for one, or they're not there at least, except for the bass player was the only one left from the original band. And, obviously, we had a bunch to drink, and it was an amazing show from what I remember. But it was crazy. Just having one guy from the original band made it like that much better.
Wow.
Otherwise, it's just a cover band.
Is
He
that-
was there, so we were like, yeah.
Is his son the lead singer then, or does he do? Or is it a different someone?
I don't think Ziggy Marley was there. I don't remember that being him. I don't remember a lot of it, but I don't remember him being there.
You just remember it was great.
I'm sure it was great.
I saw
I
Ted
say
Nugent
every
once. That was crazy.
Oh yeah. Chris
I've only
Cornell.
been to 4 concerts in my life, and 2 of them were the same artist. So,
Ooh.
Oh wow.
okay. So my first I've been to 2 Harry Connick Jr. concerts.
Wow.
Not bad. He's talented.
Wow.
Like,
Oh, I know. I adore Harry Connick Jr.
yeah, he's actually pretty great. I've seen.
I mean, you talk about a man who composes, performs, orchestra. I mean, if you want to talk about someone who is a musician, he does.
he's
Yeah.
totally.
And you go to one of his concerts, and he's a performer too, because
Yeah.
man, he puts on a show.
Yeah.
He's from your neck of the woods, right?
Huh?
Isn't he from?
He's from New Orleans.
I thought you was from New Orleans.
Yeah, he's from New Orleans.
That's what I said. I thought he's from your neck of the
He was
woods.
in Independence
In your
Day.
neck of the woods.
Independence
Oh.
Day.
Oh, we using it. Yeah, yes, he was in his day.
Yeah.
And then I got engaged at a Diana Krall concert.
Oh wow.
What? How did that happen?
Nice.
In the
Well,
bathroom?
I'll tell you how that happened. I was working at a Barnes and Noble when she got picked as the guest for their big black tie fundraising gala, and these tickets went for like $1,200 a piece, and we were handed like the store was handed like four pairs of tickets because we were going to supply CDs for them to sell at the event. And I literally went to my manager, told her what a big Diana Krall fan I was, and I did leverage. I said, and I will propose to my girlfriend at the concert if you let me have 2 of these tickets.
Oh, wow.
So I actually worked that day, had my tux the engagement ring locked in the safe where we keep the register money, changed into my tux when I got off shift, grabbed the ring and stuck it in my tuxedo pocket, had it all night in my pocket. We went to the pre-show cocktails. We saw the concert. There was a sit-down dinner that was, because these are fundraisers. Like, these are people who paid like top dollar.
Makes sense then. Okay.
Top dollar. And then I waited until the end of the evening, to the point that my wife thought I was going to propose to her, and she talked herself out of it because I waited all night to do it.
That's pretty good. Wow.
You outlasted her.
I outlasted her.
That's pretty awesome.
And it's really funny. You see the pictures from our engagement night, and she loves pointing them, going, "This is the face I'm making because I'm not getting engaged tonight." And I thought I was.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's pretty good.
And then my fourth concert was a Norah Jones concert.
Oh, Norah Jones is good. I like her. She's
And now
cool.
Norah Jones is one of those that was like, a concert's not a way to see her, because going to one of her shows is just like listening to one of her albums. Like, there's nothing, there's nothing added. There's no performance.
She's so good that she plays just exactly how it is on the album. Yeah,
right. It's not like Harry Connick, who like is doing like the dancing and the performing and the hamming it up while he's doing it. Yeah,
putting a show.
Yes, he's putting on a show.
I mean, that's why I like the Foo Fighters, because Dave Grohl is just like,
oh my
I'm gonna give you a fucking show.
Yeah,
and we'll have surprise guests, and he's just the energy that comes out of that man. I'm like,
or I know people that have like been brought up on stage at Foo Fighters concerts, like, and they've like had them do covers for them and stuff. Like,
well, fuck yeah,
Ben would have hated it.
I've seen the Foo Fighters 3 times, and like, I mean, they had what's his name from Jane's Addiction come up. They've had even on like brought up on stage who's geez, I can't even remember names right now, but yeah, he's had Jack Black come up. He's had all kinds of people. He had Lemmy. When I saw him one time, he had Lemmy come up to sing a song. And it was like, you know, obviously Lemmy from Motorhead, you know, may you rest in peace now, you know, but yeah, he'll just have random people show up, especially, you know, since I'm in LA and all these people live in LA, he'll just show Stevie Nicks. That's who I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
One time show up. You know, just
what's hilarious about when you say he had Jack Black up on stage is it's so funny because like he's the type of dude, not Jack Black, but Dave Grohl is like the type of dude who like I feel like in another life could have been Jack Black.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
he was in their movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I feel like there's another. I feel like a mild, like ever so mild tweak to the timeline, and like Dave Grohl would have been like the lead of Tenacious D instead of instead of being in like Nirvana.
Well, all you have to do is watch the video of Low, Foo Fighters Low. Watch that video. It was banned off of MTV. It's basically just Jack Black and Dave Grohl with a couple of cameras in a hotel room, and it gets fucking crazy. Okay, just watch that video. You can watch it online. It was banned off MTV. I'll just say
they cooked up out of their minds.
Yeah. Well, no, well, maybe I don't know. They were drinking a lot for sure. They were drinking a lot for sure. It's insane because the premise is these 2 truck drivers show up at a hotel room, and it's just insane. You'll just
Foo Fighters. What? I'm on YouTube right now, Dave. What was
Foo Fighters Low.
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 Dave Grohl and Jack Black doing some insane shit with just a couple of little movie cameras. It's pretty funny.
I was gonna say it's funny. I bet I was gonna say I was surprised we've only lost 10 people since we started talking about this.
Yeah.
And then we lost 10 more.
No, we've lost more than that.
Yeah. So Dave, I just shared a screen with you.
Look at this. Nick needs to go to sleep.
I know. 4 hours. Dude, you're
I'm not going to go to sleep.
Gone too far.
4 hours. I mean, come on. Hey, at this point, I only got to last 6, and I'm good. You know.
Yeah.
So I got really excited, and I was lucky that I got to see Black Sabbath play.
Nice.
Actually, at that point, it was awesome.
Nice.
wow.
Like back in the day, I went to Ozfest, and so it was Ozzy Osbourne, but it was basically the same band, and they played a full set, and they were the headlining band because it was Ozfest, and it was incredible. It was an incredible concert. And then what's funny is that before them, it was Slayer, which was another really good show, and then there was another band there that played on a separate stage, like one of the side stages, and it was a band Slipknot. who became very popular later on.
That? Yeah.
But at the time, nobody knew who they were, and they're running around wearing masks and everything. We're like, "What is this? This is awesome!" And they end up being someone big. And what's funny is that morning when we showed up, when we got there, one of the first bands that played on the main stage. Which, when you play in the morning, basically you're a lower tier based on everyone else is going to play later on the day.
Yeah.
Hence the schedule for Crisis. But we got to watch System of a Down.
Nice.
And back then,
Oh my God,
wasn't that big.
best concert I've ever been to.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is, and at the time, a buddy of mine just happened to have their album, their first album. And so we knew the songs. And so when they played, we were like, yeah, this is badass. But there was huge gaps between people out in Mountain View where it was at, in the grass area, because it wasn't packed yet, because it was still in the morning. But we were like totally digging it. And everybody else was like, yeah, whatever, it's kind of cool. But yeah, it was incredible to see them live. When nobody
by the
knew.
way, I have to say, I got this text while we were talking. Chris Rimmer from the DC Comics Squadcast. Drink.
Oh shit!
I just texted me to said, he said literally, he toured with Puddle of Mud twice.
Oh
wow!
Oh, he toured. Wow.
Yeah. So go follow Rev Rim on Twitter to see Chris Rimmer of the DC Comics Squadcast, because the dude is a serious rocker. So yes.
Nice.
Wow.
My
Ozfest 99.
best concerts you guys been to?
Ozfest
What's the
99.
best concert you guys been to?
Well, I was at Cal Jam, not last year, but the year before. Foo Fighters host Cal Jam, and what happened was there was a Nirvana reunion, of course, without Kurt. But you got Dave Grohl was like, "All right, I'm getting behind the drums." Pat Smear was, an added addition to Nirvana. Yeah, who's already a part of Foo Fighters, was playing lead guitar, and then Chris Novoselic came on to play bass, and then they had a couple of different singers, and they played Nirvana songs, so it was kind of like a Nirvana reunion. It was fucking awesome, fucking awesome. Cool. Yeah,
Carrie, yes, in the chat, Carrie, yes, it was at the Shoreline Amphitheater. Yes, it was.
There you
That's
go.
where I saw Ozfest. And then I've seen a number of different concerts there, but yeah. So you guys, in 4 hours, I'm not.
Oh, that's right.
You agreed to come on the show, man.
I did. I knew what I was getting into. But my question is
Just as long as the nerd trains aren't mad at us.
No. So we're 4 hours away from Crisis, but we're probably what? I don't know.
7 hours away from
7 hours away from just
the thing.
God, really? 7 hours? God.
7.5. 7:45.
I have a countdown. Yeah, 7.
What do you
7:45.
think? So, what is your guys' predictions for what we're going to see at Zach's panel at this point? Dave, we'll start with you. It's your show.
Well, I know he wants to really. I think his plan is just to really answer questions from the fans. He really wants to get in touch with the fans. When it comes to him, his clip, like I said, it's going to be a Zack Snyder's Justice League very oriented clip. I don't expect anything to be like, oh my, like a crazy thing. It's going to be something like, oh, there it is. Oh my God, kind of thing. Just something. Not going to be something like I know some people are speculating is it going to be like Steppenwolf and Darkseid? No, it's not going to be like something super crazy like that. It's just going to be something that we know that it's Zack Snyder's Justice League. There it is. And then when it comes to his reveal, it's going to be something fan oriented. Like I said, a poster reveal or a new contest or something like that. And he's just going to be very genuine, and it's going to be a really good time. Ray Fisher is going to be great. He's not going to talk about the Joss Whedon stuff. He's not going to, and I hope nobody asked about that. He can't really talk about that. Ray Porter is going to be great. Everything's going to be pretty. It's just going to be a nice little cool day.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Who's next?
I'll take it because here's the thing that I really want to happen. I want
Let's go in order. Okay. go ahead.
no, I'm not going to do it in order.
Let's leave Steven for last because
Yeah,
Steven can just
Steven got one
expand on
more
the subject like
Yeah.
nobody else can.
This is my hope and prayer on the Jay Oliva panel. I want to hear about this Norse animated series.
Yeah,
That's what I want to hear about.
That could be good. Yeah, Jay Oliva.
Ooh.
I even submitted
Could
a
be.
question on the Twitter thread, and my question was a compliment that then transitioned into a okay. Now let me use this compliment to get you to talk about the Norse animated series because I have been jazzed about that since it was announced, and then we've heard nothing.
What I'm curious about is like,
Yeah.
if he shows something, is it going to be concept art, or is there a chance that they've like animated anything at this point? I have no idea where they are in the pipeline at this point.
Well, it goes along the line what we said that whenever anything's been developed for Netflix, we don't know shit until like a month or before.
You know what they might have though for something like this for animation, because it takes so long to do it. They always build trailers separately. So like, whenever you see a trailer for like a claymation movie, for example, that's never in the actual movie. They build that independently. They have something to show, and they do that for animation too. I just know specifically with claymation. So hypothetically, there is a proof of concept that they showed Netflix to get it.
Wow! Don't get my hopes up, Steven.
Sorry.
My hopes up.
I was talking about if they've got anything able to show, and I was like, oh, actually.
It was just a picture.
Concept.
Yeah.
I'll go for concept. I hope they have concept.
I'll take character designs at this.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like a slide deal. I don't care what it is. So I'll go next. So since we're going down now, then we're going to go that way. I'm sorry.
There you go.
My
I don't want to
prediction.
do that.
Well, you're not. Steve was in last. So my prediction, and this is something that I've been saying over and over again on the Nicotina show.
Oh shit!
Oh god!
I totally forgot about this.
Okay, so my prediction is that he's going to show a clip from the movie, maybe 2 minutes or so, whatever. It's going to be Batman finding the parademon lair, because that's a scene that we've heard a lot about. We've seen concept art about. We know that probably part of it exists. So now we're going to see a scene of Batman that we haven't seen before, and we also have not seen Zack Snyder's Batman in this movie, because what we saw of Batman in Justice League, that's not Batman. That's not Batman. So my prediction is that it's going to be that scene. It's going to show a clip from that scene. He may find a parademon, but like right when the parademon comes at him, it's going to cut out. So everyone's going to be like, ah! And
I know, Nick, how are we all going to sound again? I'm sorry, what was that again? Okay, good. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, if there's something big going on, and like let's say he opens a parademon, like what do you call it, cocoon or whatever, it's like rah, and it cuts out, everyone's gonna be like, no! But I think they're gonna show that scene, and then they're also gonna show at that point, I think the little the side one is gonna be Ben Affleck. I mean, come on. I mean, what else could it really be? Do you really want Ben Affleck to make his appearance at DC Fandom if he has agreed to any kind of contract? I mean, that's going to override. It's going to supersede everything that they're going to do there. I hope at least that it's going to be Ben Affleck's Batman, or just Ben Affleck in general. Imagine if he came on the same screen as Zack Snyder, and then you realize that they're actually on location because they're getting ready to shoot the movie. Like, hey, so guess what? We're actually on location right now, and we're going to start shooting the scenes very shortly. And then it kind of shows you like, holy crap, this is real,
Okay, Nicotina's drunk.
Yeah, he is. What gave it away?
Oh man, I mean, no, I like where your head's at, but woo, that sounds like a lot. Ooh.
I think I'm just glad that the nerd queens and Meg are asleep right now.
Yeah,
I don't need to hear that right now.
I thought it would
I think everybody in the chat is giving you this look like.
It sounds awesome. It does sound awesome, What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, time to go to bed.
One thing that John said in the vodka, not in the vodka.
Oh, you said vodka free.
Oh, there it is.
the-
There it
And
The
there,
real
he actually said
emotion.
in the real emotion, so 2 shots. He said that probably we'll get a date, which I don't think it would happen since the whole COVID thing going on. Everything has been delayed, and any additional shooting would probably be delayed as well. So for them to give you a date will be playing the same card that every other movie is playing, that they have to be delayed and pushed back. So I don't think they're gonna give us a date, but I do think that they're gonna give us a poster, and whatever clip that he shows us, he's gonna get us hype. He will show us something that it will differentiate or break away from whatever we're already seeing, whether it's a Steppenwolf OG design or a real look of what Nick said, a real look of what Ben Affleck's Batman is supposed to be like. But it's something to just separate the men from the boys.
Okay, like
good.
it. All right, Swenson, what's going on? What do you think?
Same thoughts. Really, just that it will differentiate from the theatrical. Something, a clip like it could be OG Steppenwolf, could be, I don't know, Black Superman, could be some scene that we've never
What?
seen
Michael
before.
B. Jordan? You said Black Superman. I was like, Michael.
Yeah,
Evil
Black
Superman.
Evil Superman.
Black
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, and the so it'll be something. I mean, it could even, I'd be blown away if anything. It could just be a conversation between Martha and Lois, and I'd be like, wow, another few seconds to watch every day. I'd be happy with that, because I'm watching that 30 seconds every morning. Every morning I wake up, I watch that 30 something seconds. It goes like, that's the real Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now I get to add another however many seconds to that.
Probably 30 seconds.
Probably 30 seconds.
It's gonna be-
Cool. Awesome.
I think
So
it'll be
great
short.
got a great minute to start my day instead of 37 seconds. But then I have no idea what the announcement is. I don't even know if it's I'm thinking it's Justice League related because it's Justice Con, but then again, like you said, it could be the Norse thing too. It could be anything at this point, and I'm really excited to see what that is. Like, I'm getting like really nervous. It's like that
Drink
thing-
more, Chris.
Yeah,
It'll
it's
calm
like
you
a
down.
Drink
Really.
more. It'll calm you down.
I know. I'm like, what is going on?
Like right
I would,
before the Snyder event,
right. I would have been happy to say he said a clip, and I was like, oh, okay. But I was like, there's something more. Like, what? What else is there?
Something more.
All right,
Something
Steven.
darker.
Steven, what do you think?
You got an hour, buddy.
I think a clip.
I love you, Steven.
Hey, Steven, real quick. People always like dog on Steven because of the way he talks.
We
and
joke,
he takes,
we joke.
we joke.
No, we're just
But
joking.
what's funny is that like there was one
Or
night
do
where
we?
I don't know. There was a night not too long ago where I was putting my two boys to sleep, right? And the show was on, so I wanted to watch the show. So selfishly, I had it on my phone, and they were right here and here watching. And Steven starts to talk. And he's talking for a long time, and I'm following him like, yeah, okay, cool. And all of a sudden, I look over at my kids, and they both fell asleep. Like,
Oh, Jesus.
I was like, I thought about it. I was like, wow, he put my kids to sleep. This is
Oh
awesome.
my god!
True story. I swear to God, true story.
You know what? Let me say something about Steven. Steven talks a lot, but he makes a whole lot of sense.
Oh,
Yes, he
my
does.
God, yeah.
And this is why I
Absolutely.
listen to
That's what we
BBS
love
by the
about it.
minute.
You know, yeah. I mean, when all this happens, like, like, yeah, we make jokes, but like everybody's like gets informative, like from Steve. He's got all the information. He's got.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times has he said something and we gone, oh shit, that's fucking great.
You
yeah.
can approach things in a much more depth than we've ever would have thought.
Exactly. We start thinking about,
I don't know what he does, but he just digests information in a
And then he processed it where
He processed it in a whole different way. I'm like, what the fuck are you
And
thinking, man?
Andrew is in the chat, so I'm just waiting for Andrew to say something. That's
that right there.
Oh.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Anyway, Steven, go ahead.
Wow. I mean, what else? What else can be said about me? I mean, everyone. Yeah. So a clip. I don't want to say too much about that. It'll be something that's differentiates from. I
Wow,
think.
now he's without words. What the fuck is going on?
What happened?
I could speculate. I don't know. I'm putting
This
a weird.
is a side of you that I'm not used to this.
He usually doesn't have words when he knows more than he should say.
I know, right?
There you go. That's what it is. Steven knows something.
I think
just make believe it was like a week ago.
Yeah.
I think that something Kevin Smith has predicted will be proven wrong. And I think that Zach will have an announcement that is fandom related, like a it's not the Martian Manhunter poster I checked that was being announced by the artist panel.
Where is he checking?
No, it's on the. I was like, let's announce on the poster, and it's being chosen by the artists panel. So it's not the Martian Manhunter poster, but I think it's something of that nature. It's something fandom oriented, some event, some contest, some I don't know, something like that. Not like it's not going to be a movie related, like a release date or something like that. It's going to be something for yeah.
It's going to be
backpedaling. He's backpedaling right now.
And I think that we'll see something from Army of the Dead and some
hopefully
some kind of person, whether or not it's an image or a clip or I don't think a teaser. I don't think we'll see like a full.
Hold on, it's Justice Gone. Wouldn't it be something related to Justice League?
It's center panel. I mean, the AFS
it's Snyder Gone,
that's
basically.
true too.
Why not?
Yeah,
Why not?
a new version of it.
I mean, we just talked forever about how Jay Oliva is going to talk about this Norse.
Yeah, I
in
know.
the Army of the Dead, and you're like, I don't know. That doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Touche, my friend. Touche.
Oh man. All right. So there you go. There's our little predictions right there. And I think that's a good way to wrap up this live stream. I have no vodka left. So, I mean, we're going to be plugging right now. But like I said, Nick, you need to get some fucking sleep.
I'm going to go to bed right now.
My God.
Oh my God.
You go
take her up.
first. Plug yourself first. Plug.
Chug is what he really is.
Yeah, that's what I really meant. Yeah.
You can follow me on YouTube at my show, The Nicotina Show. It's on once a week.
Yeah.
I forgot the nickname for the once a week.
Yeah. Once I have more time, I could probably do it more than once a week. But right now, that's all I got time for. But and then obviously, and Nick, you're under 4 hours. Oh my God! And you can follow me on Twitter at Nicotina_show. And then yes, I will be on live at 4 a.m. Pacific, 7 a.m. Eastern time for the Crisis on Infinite Streams event. It's going to be a lot of fun. I got Victor Koo telling me to go to sleep, so I'm in to go to sleep now. And I'll let you guys finish plugging yourselves because I'm just about done.
All right, Steven, plug yourself.
Yeah, I can find me on Twitter at SM Colbert in my name right there. I also co-host BVS by the Minute with Andrew Dice. We got some cool stuff coming up with that, and he posted a whole list of hypothetical maybe shows of a similar nature recently.
A lot.
And also I write at Screen Rant. You can find me there when I'm actually writing. And then here often on Friday on the Vodka stream.
There you go. Whoa, even more. Wish I had more. Scott.
Okay, on Twitter at ScottDC27. You can listen to my podcast, DC Film Squadcast, available on the podcaster of your choice. You can also find us on Twitter at DC Film Squadcast. And of course, you can find the entire network of shows, including DC Comic Squadcast with Chris Rimmer, at squadcastmedia.com.
Nice.
And
All right, Mr.
minute 71 of BVS by the Minute, Judge, Jury, and Executioner is on now.
Oh, there you go. Great plug.
Okay.
Right. Mr. Swenson.
Excuse me.
Pong Sensei. You can find me on Twitter at Nexus Pong. I'm on the Ping Pong Flick Show, and you can find me tomorrow on Dave the Film Junkie Show as we react to whatever Zack Snyder has in store for us.
We'll
There
see.
it is. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Ben Everts.
And you can find me on the Real Emotion podcast on every Wednesday.
Oh, that's cool.
Every Wednesday on YouTube. And you can find us also on your favorite streaming platform, iTunes, Spotify, Podbean.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you joining us for this. Of course, Mr. Batfleck. Cheers to him.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we give him some
Thank you,
encouragement. We would love to see him in the back cowl again and the cape and everything. And Justice Con. It's going to be a good time. So we'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you.